is Braves Vision.
Braves Baseball is brought to you by Truist as we say hello from South Beach. The Braves begin a 4-game set against the Miami Marlins tonight, and we've got you covered from head to toe with Braves Baseball. Atlanta boasting the best record in all of Major League Baseball. They'll put it to the test tonight here inside Lone Depot Park. Alongside CJ Nikowski, I'm Wiley Bowden. And CJ, the Braves are feeling confident no matter who they put on the mound. But the way they've lined up their rotation in this 4-game series has them extra excited.
Yeah, and it should be, right? We know the rotation has been good all year. Sometimes you get into a 4-game series, though, and you get concerned. Not the Atlanta Braves. That's for other teams because their pitching has run so deep. We get J.R. Ritchie here tonight. For the youngster, he has been excellent. Martin Perez has been in the hybrid role, and it has not been an issue. How about that 2.25 ERA? He has been great. He'll get the start in Game 2. And then you get the big dogs in the back end, right? For the second half of this series, Chris Sale's been excellent all year. Spencer Strider has really turned it on over his last 2 starts. So the Braves have it lined up in a really strong way.
So the Braves have not only been successful on the mound, they've also been successful away from home. And CJ, doing that is not easy in this level.
It's not. In this league, you think about trying to be 500 on the road if you can, then be really good at home. Well, the Braves have done both, and what they've done on the road has been unbelievable. 16-7 right now is that road record. What comes with that, a really high run differential. And when I saw this, I had to do a little bit of a double take when you look at Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, Michael Harris, combined hitting better than 322 home runs for that trio. It's been incredible. So away from home, in this ballpark in particular, is a place where the Braves have felt extremely comfortable. We look forward to that over these next 4.
And if that wasn't enough good news for you, how about this great news? Ronald Acuna Jr. has been activated off the injured list. He's not in the lineup tonight, but he will be available off the bench and ready to go as the Braves begin this 4-game series against Miami. Now, when we come back, Lauren and Peter will be back in the studio. They'll be talking about Austin Riley and his May surge. He's raised his batting average by 30 points. And we've still got a week and a half left in this month. That's coming up next on Braves Vision.
Atlanta Braves Baseball is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the Memorial Day sale going on now. By Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. And by Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. We're getting you ready for Braves Marlins. It was a happy flight last night after back-to-back series wins at home. And now we've got the first of 4 games out at Lone Depot Park in Miami. But we're not in Miami. We're here holding it down into the Atlanta studios. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Lauren Saad. That's Peter Moylan. And Pete, one of the best parts of our job, and of course this team, is just how many guys have been having great starts this season. And one we've got to talk about in particular is, of course, Austin Riley.
Well, he's been incredible, especially lately. Got off to that smoking hot start in spring training. It's been a little bit inconsistent for the first 6 weeks of the season, but over the last 2 weeks, he's really started to pick it up. It's not just been the swings, it's not just been the quality of contact, it's not just been the quality of the at-bats. He's been robbed a couple of times on some hits as well, but it's the ability to get after all different types of pitch types. He's hitting breaking balls, he's hitting fastballs, and if you take a look inside the numbers brought to you by Hyundai here, you look at March and April versus May, that 260 to 354, that's no accident. The slugging percentage has just gone up out of this world. The line drive percentage and the sweet spot percentage. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The numbers don't lie, and you're seeing it right there. But for me, the defense has picked up a little bit lately as well. The overall feel in this team has definitely picked up, and Austin Riley's been a huge part of that. He's now moved his way back down to the 4th spot in the lineup, so that's going to be huge, right behind those big bangers in the top 3.
And like you said, his season didn't start out this way, and it was actually that Rocky series that we were sharing the desk here, and you called it, you put it into the universe that was where things were going to start to turn for him.
Look, Austin Riley's Austin Riley's. The number's going to be there at the end of the year. I just had to try to pick the perfect time to say when he's going to go off, and it just so happened to be the Colorado atmosphere that got him to go a little harder than the first part of the season.
I'm always going to say your praises, Pete, but we're excited to see what Austin Riley is going to be able to do tonight. But now it's time to get you guys out to Miami at Lone Depot Park, where Wiley and CJ are going to take good care of you. We'll see you guys back here later tonight.
Sure have changed since we played. There's no blowing up.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Delta Airlines, keep climbing. And by the Georgia Lottery. Hurry and play cash for today to instantly win an extra $444 now through June 30th, only from the Georgia Lottery. On a Monday night from Miami, we bring you the lid lifter of this 4-game series between the Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins. Second series of the year between these two teams. Atlanta took 2 of 3 from the Marlins back in Atlanta about a month ago. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for Walt Wise's Braves. Brought to you by Racetrack. Austin Riley back up to that 4th spot after a big Sunday. Mauricio Dubon, Hassan Kim back in the lineup after days off yesterday. And on the mound for Miami, it will be the right-hander, 27 years old from Woodbury, Minnesota. Max Meyer gets the start, CJ, and he's got a pretty serious breaking ball.
He does, and you're going to see a lot of it. He actually leads with both his slider and his sweeper before you get to the 4-seam fastball, the changeup, and the 2-seamer. So a lot of spin you got to deal with tonight against Meyer.
And as Max Meyer works on the rosin bat, let's take a look at our Ford keys. CJ, what do we have?
And that makes it backwards day today, especially when you are in a hitter's count. Nobody throws more sliders in hitter counts than Max Meyer. So something that the Braves maybe could sit on when they get ahead. And Hot Wheels, these guys can flat out run. So we're going to have to flatten those tires a little bit. This is the best stolen base team in baseball, and they're not afraid to be aggressive.
So Drake Baldwin leading off, coming off a great homestand. And first pitch misses inside, and we are open for business here from Lone Depot Park. Braves a Major League best, 32-15. The Marlins fallen 5 games below 500. They have lost 4 of their 5 series so far this month.
Are we open for business with so few people here? I mean, it feels like the gates are open.
It's a soft opening.
Yeah.
This is family and friends tonight, CJ. Family and friends. Tomorrow's the big one.
Yeah, we'll see. At 4:10, and it may not be. Good example we're talking about. 1-1 count there, even though that's an even count, using that slider. And it does seem like that may become a little bit more of a philosophy here with the new front office over the last couple of years with the Marlins.
It's a hard slider, too. Upper 80s, averaging 90 on the season.
It's been good. Batting average against is really low at 170, sweeper at 196. So it's kind of one of those things, and I know the game has changed a little bit in that regard, but when you get a guy with a good breaking pitch or 2 of them, you can use it more than maybe you would have a couple of decades ago.
Drake fouls off that slider. Max Meyer, as we said, 27 years old. This has been the best year of his career so far. 35th career start. Coming off an emotional one, too. He faced the Minnesota Twins up at Target Field, his hometown team. Season high 96 pitches, 5 2/3. Struck out 9, but also gave up 2 homers to Byron Buxton. Some kind of mixed results for Meyer, but right now for the Marlins rotation, he's been by far their best pitcher. The others have struggled.
Yeah, and he has had a really tough time staying healthy over the course of his career, and so I would look forward to him giving it up here tonight. You do kind of root for guys that have had to go through the injury bug the way he has the last few years.
Another good at bat from Drake Baldwin out of the leadoff spot.
Is it Bark at the Park night?
I was told yes, it is.
All right, so I made a joke today when I was in Whole Foods, where we stay here in Miami. I couldn't believe the amount of dogs that were in Whole Foods, and someone's like, oh, is it Bark at the Park? And we're going to see a lot of dogs on TV. I was like, no, it's just at Whole Foods, but apparently I was wrong about that.
And Drake that time fights it off, able to stay alive. Drake, by the way, you mentioned the success he's had in this leadoff spot. He's got 8 first-inning home runs, most in Major League Baseball.
That's incredible. He's got 8 in the first inning. Yeah. Oh, of course, obviously not leading off that entire time, but very comfortable in that first at-bat.
How about a 9th on the 9th pitch?
I'll tell you what, it'll work as far as driving up that pitch count here early on. You'd love to see it from Drake Baldwin and kind of setting the tone. You know who doesn't like seeing it? That man right there, Clayton McCullough, does not want to see 10 pitches to the first batter of the game. He's going to.
Payoff from Meyer. Ball 4 at Drake Baldwin. Wasn't it bad to get us started? Leadoff walk.
Another sweeper here. This one backdoor. Not a lot of movement on it, trying to catch that outside corner, but
Meyer couldn't do it. It's interesting watching Alfonso Marquez, who's our home plate umpire tonight. He's had 27 total challenges, 17 that have been turned over, but 14 of the 17 have been by the catcher or pitcher. So the batters have not had a lot of success. So you look for those trends a little bit, and you start to get an idea. Okay, we know zones, we know heat maps. Which way have the challenges leaned? And so far the challenges have leaned in favor of the catchers.
Now 1-0 to Ozzie. Of course, the World Baseball Classic was held here at Lone Depot Park. It was a couple of days ago. Ozzie and Ronald were going back and forth, revisiting how that all played out. Ronald still with bragging rights, letting Ozzie hear about it. First time back for Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna Jr. in this ballpark. And as we told you in the open, Ronald Acuna Jr. is active tonight.
I would make the assumption, and I probably shouldn't do that he'd be in the starting lineup tomorrow. We'll see. Unless they want to ease him back in with a couple of pinch hit appearances.
3-0 green light from Ozzie.
I don't mind it. Again, what we talk about, we will talk about the entire night here with Meyer, is how he essentially pitches backwards. So you get a 3-0 count, you get a fastball, go for it. But you may not get another one.
Three-one. Got him a slider, 3-2.
You mentioned it. It's firm at 189. We've seen it at 90. It's kind of where it sits, 90, 91. It's a little bit more like a cutter, right? It's not a big one. Now, I don't know if he has that ability, whether or not to manipulate it, slow it down, and get it a little bigger, or that's why he uses the sweeper. But it's not that big Bryce Elder slider.
3-2 popped up right side. And that'll be Xavier Edwards. Let's take a look at the Marlins defense, brought to you by Car Shield. Owen Casey, the rookie in right field. Big trade acquisition from the Chicago Cubs just before the season began. And then on the infield, Otto Lopez at short. He's been prone to errors, 7 of them near the top of Major League Baseball. And then Joe Mack, another rookie behind the plate, just got called up.
They seem pretty excited about him, especially on the defensive side for Mack, who takes over. We saw Ramirez go down, and we've seen over the last couple of years who struggled defensively, was more of a bat-first catcher, but Mack is the opposite.
And Matt Olson takes inside. .14 home runs for Matt. That's second in the National League behind Kyle Schwarber. RBI near the top of the leaderboards as well. Braves have seen a lot of Max Meyer. I know the major leagues haven't seen a lot of Max Meyer, just 35 starts over 5 years. But he has faced the Braves now 5 times, by far the most of any team he's faced so far in his young career. The Braves had pretty good success against him, a 4.5 ERA. Had one really strong start. The last 3 have not been as good. ERA over 5.5 against the Braves, including one earlier this year back in Atlanta. And Matt Olson drills one high and deep to center. Marcy's underneath it and puts the squeeze on the second out.
Matt Olson just got under that 96-mile-an-hour fastball, 40-degree launch angle, and so you know you'd have to hit that pretty hard to get it out of the ballpark. But a good-looking swing against a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
So after the leadoff walk from Drake, pop out and fly out, and here's Austin Riley. That average is slowly creeping up, CJ.
He's been great, and he's been seeing righties really well. Right? We mentioned the lefties on the road trip, but what he's done against righties lately is very encouraging here for Austin Riley.
Goes after the first pitch. Yeah, Austin talked about it after the game yesterday, but felt like he was dipping his shoulder a little too much, and with that, his body wasn't so much square moving forward, but tilted at an angle. Something he worked on with Tim Hires and Adam Sonnabend at the front office.
Austin, one of 2, there's Tim Hires, one of 2 Braves, active Braves that have a home run against Max Meyer in their career. Matt Olson also took him deep.
And Drake's taking off from first. Myers throw down to second, and they got him. Drake thought he'd caught Max Meyer asleep at the wheel. He might have been, but he recovered in time, and that ends the inning. Scoreless, going to the bottom of the first. J.R. Ritchie making his 5th career start, first of 4 for the Braves here in Miami. And the right-hander, 22 years old, has gotten off to a strong start, CJ, trying to throw a few more strikes as he moves forward this season.
100%. That'll be the big key for him. And this team's a little bit different, right? There's not a lot of power there, so maybe, and I don't even think it's confidence, but the confidence of going at these guys and being a little bit more aggressive in the strike zone would serve J.R. Ritchie very well tonight.
He will face a Marlins lineup that doesn't have a ton of power, but the fastest team in baseball. His first pitch misses big up and away, led by Clayton McCullough in his 2nd year at the helm of the Marlins. And Xavier Edwards swings at the 1-0 and pops it out of play. Let's take a look at the Marlins lineup this evening, brought to you by Racetrack. Owen Casey, the rookie there in the 5 spot. This is about as high as he has batted all season.
I think a lot of that has to do with, if you look at this lineup, kind of stacking as many lefties as you possibly can.
Ground ball shot to the other side. Chance for Ha-Seong Kim. Gets the speedy Edwards. We mentioned they're fast.
They are, and it's something that will put a little bit extra pressure on the defense. You see Ha-Seong Kim there with a little bit of a smile, right? There's no time to collect. There's no glove pat on any decent ground ball with some of these guys because of how well they run.
So 1 away, and here is Liam Hicks, 26 years old. Quite a find by the Marlins. As he takes a first pitch strike with the curveball.
He's been great for them offensively. We talked about it last time, and he mentioned he had done and I hadn't really heard this before, but basically a weighted bat kind of program to get his velocity, his bat speed going.
So he wears that one. So a cutter plucks Hicks.
It's a fun sentence. I'm not going to say it because I don't think I can spit it out cleanly.
I think I was more concerned about spitting it out properly. You mix a few of those around, you could be in some trouble.
Yes, I was clean.
All right, so Hicks aboard first, and now here is Major League Baseball's hits leader, Otto Lopez, with 63 knocks. And like Hicks, a nice find for Miami. Kind of got both those guys off the scrap heap, CJ. I mean, Liam Hicks is a Rule 5 pick, and Otto Lopez was DFA'd twice in 1 month.
Lowest payroll in baseball, you're going to have to figure out different ways to get impactful players. Now, these numbers are obviously jumping off the board, and it has been something that no doubt they're pretty proud of here in Miami.
Didn't get the call there. Ball 1.
There we go. Challenge time.
Let's see what we got. As you mentioned, catcher's been more successful against Alfonso Marquez, and yes, is a strike. Nice work, Drake.
And Drake's done a really nice job back there with his ABS coming into this one here tonight at 70%. The average for your pitchers is about 59-60, so making now 20 for 28 for the Drake.
JR, meanwhile, coming off his shortest start of the season. First time he hadn't gotten through 5 innings, but one change we saw, CJ, he threw a lot more sliders, particularly in the zone. As he comes with a changeup there, it gets Lopez over the top.
It's going to be important. It's something we've talked about. We always do with every young pitcher. I think J.R. Ritchie knows this, is that you have to prove to yourself and learn and get confident that you can get outs inside the strike zone against big league hitters. He absolutely can. His stuff is there. Now it's just a matter of repeating that a little bit more.
Lopez gets a piece of that one.
When he has the walks, I don't think it's a matter of like he's trying to be too careful or he's not confident that he can get a guy out in the zone. I think they're just misses, whether they're mechanically related or whatever it may be. I don't think it's the thing that you worry about. What you worry about are the guys that are trying to live on the edge, and he knows he doesn't have to do that.
On the flip side of that, CJ, I'm curious if it's not a matter of being a little too afraid to go over to the heart of the plate or challenge hitters, how frustrating is it knowing that's what you're trying to do, but like you said, whether it's mechanics or something else, I mean, how does that kind of play out in your head when you're on the mound?
Well, let me tell you about the 19 years of my baseball career, Wiley, and how frustrating that could be when you're like, I'm trying to throw the ball over the plate. It just won't go there.
Oh, no! No! And Mike Estabrook rings up Otto Lopez.
Uh-oh, very careful. You get thrown out of this game, and I'd be okay with it.
I think Lopez suggesting Mike Estabrook wouldn't watch him.
It's a curveball here from J.R. Ritchie, and he does a nice job. And he chose the curveball over the slider as we take a look throughout this at-bat for most of it. Now, why would Lopez point, right? I know guys do that sometimes, but it's almost like you're doing it like, hey, please check because I don't want to get called. And he may have an argument, but don't point. You asked, you got your answer.
Stowers bounces one to the right side. Ozzy's got it. And J.R. Ritchie works around a hit by pitch. One in the books, no score. Well, earlier today, an exciting sight for Braves country. Ronald Acuna Jr. hitting in the cages, and he has now been activated after that left hamstring strain he suffered in Colorado a couple of weeks back. He is available tonight. Now, the corresponding move, Kyle Farmer went for an MRI after he had felt some pain in his forearm and suffered a forearm strain in his right arm. So with him going down, figured, you know what, let's activate Ronald tonight. He tested so well today, and that workout went so well, they felt like, you know what, he's ready to go. And I think the expectation was that he'd be activated tomorrow with a lefty going, Braxton Garrett from the Marlins, but he's ready to go tonight and smiling ear to ear.
Not a bad idea, right, to maybe get a pinch hit appearance if it plays out, and it seems to be a good fit tonight to kind of get him comfortable once again. But really good news. I thought it was a little bit more maybe Ozzy related because he was just tired of hearing from Ronald while he was in the dugout and giving him a hard time and pouring dirt in his glove, and thought maybe he just went to wall today. Can we get this dude activated and get him back playing baseball because he's driving me crazy?
It was a trying couple of weeks for Ozzy. Ronald was pestering him, yep. Well, in the locker room yesterday morning before the game, you know, Ronald was giving Ozzy a little grief about going back to Miami where the World Baseball Classic was. And, of course, Netherlands and Venezuela both began the World Baseball Classic in this ballpark. And Ronald said, hey, Wiley, ask him how the game started. I already knew first pitch double for Ronald against the Netherlands. And Ozzy, you know who he blamed it on?
I don't.
Chadwick Trump.
Oh, nice.
Former Brave buddy of his. Say, what are we doing throwing a first pitch fastball?
Pass the buck.
That's on Trumpy. Riley's worked the count full now. He's left standing at the altar there after Drake Baldwin was picked off to end the top of the first. Another deep count for Max Meyer. And Austin Riley lofts this one into shallow center. And Edwards has it.
I'll tell you what he has gotten here tonight so far. We're only a few batters into this game, but he's done it against Ozzy and he's done it against Austin Riley. When he gets in a 3-2 count, both times the fastball's been off the plate, and both guys have gone for it and end up popping it up with some weak contact. So while in the back of your mind you're thinking about that slider, I think guys get excited about the possibility of any fastball they see. But right now Max Meyer's actually gotten some chase on that fastball.
Yeah, Michael Harris comes up hacking. You mentioned the Marlins trying to stuff their lineup with left-handed hitters. The Braves have a number of lefties in the lineup today. 5 and then a switch hitter. But you look at Max Meyer's numbers, and he's essentially split neutral.
He is, yeah. The OPS a little bit lower, batting average a little bit lower, but kind of negligible when you start to look at OPS, batting average. Strikeout numbers are about the same. That's the big one for me. Let me see the swing and miss. Let me see the walk rate.
As Harris slices one in the air down the left field line, that's foul.
And those are also kind of in line. So it's a matter of just put your best lineup out there. And for the Braves against the righty, this is it.
Especially after looking at all those home runs that Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, Michael Harris have hit on the road. 22?
It's been pretty incredible to see what they've done away from home.
This is just the 24th road game of the year for the Braves. Ooh, and a challenge coming here from Joe Mack.
Calls the ball to catch the challenger.
Looks like it could be the end of the at-bat for Michael. And it is.
It's overturned. It is strike three.
Well, this will be the conversation for these left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight, is where that breaking ball has ended up. It's been a lot of these outer third, backdoor, trying to catch the corner. That one barely did, but you kind of put it in the back of your mind, second time through the order, and become a little bit more ready for it.
So 2 down, base is empty, and now Mauricio Dubon got to sleep in his own bed last night. Makes his home in Miami during the offseason. That reminds you of another Brave who enjoyed playing here, CJ.
That's right. The Big Bear loved Miami, perhaps more than any other city.
Dubon makes his home about 20 minutes away from the ballpark, so it's an easy drive. It looks like Alfonso Marquez might have caught one there off the bottom of the mast. A little jaw work.
That's never a fun feeling, and a good time to give him a little bit of a breather, right? You get hit on the jaw, you get hit on one side, you feel it on the other side. Let's take a look at this foul tip and where it got him. No, got him square, actually. We give these guys a hard time, and they're very rarely applauded for the good work that they do, right? We only kind of get on them when they struggle a little bit, but they're warriors back there. I couldn't do it.
27th season for Alfonso Marquez. Part of the umpiring crew in the 2021 World Series. I believe he would have worked Game 7 of that World Series behind the plate, but obviously the Braves didn't need that thanks to Max Fried, Jorge Soler and company. And I don't want to make light of Marquez down there, but CJ, this might just be me. Have you been targeted on your social media about jaw strengthening chewing gum?
I have not gotten that one, no, because I've already bought those and I don't use them. I need to. Get a little older, things start to, gravity takes over. I had those little rubber plastic things that you put in.
Oh yeah.
Chewing on them. That's what I like about being here in Miami, is that the camera is so high for the open, it does a really nice job of hiding the turkey neck.
Well, I've been told, yeah, that jawline starts to kind of deteriorate a little bit, loosen up a little bit.
I mean, I never had the real strong jaw to begin with. I do love the angle of the booth cam. It's really amazing here. Not the open cam's great. It's nice and high. The one that's in my right ear, I can do without that one.
Well, on behalf of those who didn't play Major League Baseball, if you're not able to introduce yourself as, hi, I'm CJ, the Major League Baseball player, the rest of us, we got to worry about the jawline a little bit,
listen,
CJ.
I wish I had it too. I hear you, brother.
We got to bring a little more to the table.
I'll tell you what, man, this is taking a little while. I'm concerned about Alfonso Marquez right now.
Foul tip from Mauricio Dubon, and like you said, kind of caught him square.
And I think we're going to see an umpire change, because we're starting to see a couple of Marlins now come off the field. And when that happens, it turns into, a good 10 minutes potentially of having the umpire change. Well, I guess one guy's already left. One of the umpires has already started the change.
Yeah, it looks like. All right, so it looks like Alfonso Marquez appears he's not going to finish this game. And like you said, it'll be a bit of a delay as you've got to get a home plate umpire fully suited up and geared up. So we will step aside for the time being. We've got no score here at the top of the second. We are already down an umpire. Alfonso Marquez leaves the game.
The $1,500 in purchases when you activate.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Comcast Business. All-in connection and protection your small business can rely on. No one does business like Comcast Business. By Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. And by Alpha Insurance, your winning lineup for auto, home, life, and health. Smooth sailing down the Miami River. Hit a little bit of a snag here in the top of the second. Home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez was struck in the jaw area by a foul ball, so we are having a home plate umpire change here at Lone Depot Park. And in the meantime, CJ, that gives us an excuse to reminisce a couple of months ago, back on March 7th. How about Ozzie Albies' first ever walk-off homer in World Baseball Classic action? And we're talking 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Winning run at the plate. It doesn't get bigger than that.
It doesn't, and it was exciting. It was good to see this ballpark have this kind of energy in it. Doesn't happen very often for the Marlins, but more importantly for our guy, that he got to experience that. Did Ozzie Albies, there's something different about playing for your country, that extra sense of pride. And I think especially when you're the Netherlands, you're looked at as a team that, while there's a lot of good players that have come out of places like Curacao, it's about Venezuela, it's about the Dominican, it's about Team Japan, Team USA, right? So you go in as kind of an underdog. So to have big moments like that, those are ones that stick with you forever.
Well, CJ, you never know what's going to happen in the future, and you see a home run like that, you hope, okay, Ozzie's feeling good at the plate, but he's talked about it. The World Baseball Classic put him in a phenomenal position to begin the season. It's one of the reasons he says he's gotten off to such a great start this year.
And not everybody can say that, right? There are some guys that participated in the WBC, got off to slow starts. You do worry about pitchers, getting it kind of fired up a little bit earlier. You've heard a lot of players talk about it's why they play winter ball toward the end of the winter ball season. Things get a little bit more intense. They like getting it started earlier. And clearly for Ozzie, this is one that worked out well for him. And good to see the momentum carry over, because, again, it hasn't happened like that for everybody.
And how about Jeff Pink, too? Getting an Ozzie hug there, a little laugh. It's a good night so far for Pinky.
The guys in the clubhouse role, they're the ones that deserve the most hugs. As much as the players are out there grinding in the work that they put in, it's one of the first things you learn when you get to the big leagues, at least for me. And that was, there's a couple of people that you must take care of and understand the value of what they bring to a major league team. It is your clubhouse manager and attendants, and then it's now what we call the director of travel. We used to call it traveling secretary. But those folks in particular do amazing work to make things as easy as possible for the group that's in uniform.
And I think I'm actually getting word from Ronald right now asking, but who won the WBC? Who exactly won the WBC? Well, Venezuela, 10 days later, right here at Lone Depot Park. Palencia with the strikeout. And look at the passion for Team Venezuela. Ronald Acuna Jr., of course, in right field. And CJ, I was in the building that night. I've never been at the end of the World Series, but it's hard for me to imagine anything more passion-filled than the Venezuela fans and team were here inside of Lone Depot Park that
So
night.
we know that the players in the country in particular and how much they love baseball and the passion for baseball. It's been an emotional year for Venezuelans just in general, right? And so now you get this big opportunity here in Miami to show the world what you can do, and then you win it all. Again, it's hard for us, I really do believe, to sit here and watch the WBC, look at it, and put into proper context and words what a big deal it is. But it is amazing to listen to the guys tell the story, to see the emotions. And I'm just glad you got to do something this year, because I know it's otherwise have been kind of a quiet year for you when it comes to traveling the world and experience amazing events. Great seats, by the way. But you were in the building, like you said.
We were in the building.
That's all that matters.
We were in the building. You know, I was thinking about getting some nicer seats. My buddy Thomas Davenport that said, no, we're good with this.
Yeah, well, it wasn't inexpensive, that's for sure,
That's
to go
true.
to the WBC.
Well, I tried to go through you, and you.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah. Well, we've got dogs in the seats
That's
tonight,
right.
though.
We got plenty.
Is that a bounty hunter on the right?
The shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one, for sure. That's the
What's-
most Florida
what's his
shirt
name?
you're ever going to see. What's that?
Isn't that dog the bounty hunter?
Yeah, with the dog.
On Bark in the Park night.
Yeah.
That guy's
Probably-
playing 4D chess, man.
Yeah, that's right. It's the right time to do it.
That's slick.
So
right
how
there.
are you on dog breeds? I'm terrible.
As far as identifying
Yeah.
them? Got nothing.
Okay, I
I
stink,
usually
too.
go with it's a,
So
gray
obviously,
dog or a brown dog or a white dog, black dog.
that's some
like
kind
that.
of doodle, right? Gretchen, I feel like, is pretty good and knows.
That-
Is that a French bulldog?
I know it's
Oh, let's
not.
go.
It's not a golden retriever. I know that.
We got a little lab right here. What is that? That's maybe a mutt. I just hope that whatever was going on with that hot dog, that dog now owned that hot dog. It looked like the guy was giving the dog a bite, like maybe he was going to take the next bite. Let's hope that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I'm not splitting that hot dog after that. By the way, if you're wondering why we're just sort of sitting here shooting the breeze talking about dogs, Alfonso Marquez, our home plate umpire, was struck by a foul tip from Mauricio Dubon, and so we're having a home plate umpire change. It takes a little time.
Was that dog wearing Crocs?
I'd have to go back and
previous,
I want to go back and look again. I got to go back and look at that again.
I
I know that guy's wearing a
orange
Tito's
dog?
bandana. That last dog had a Tito's bandana.
Nice. There's a lot going on here.
What do you think our dog-to-person ratio is here tonight?
It's a good question. I mean, listen, this is the place you can do it, for sure. I know that. I actually happened to see randomly that the Rockies were also doing a Bark of the Park night, but you have to have a special ticket. They were sold out, and they're doing it again tomorrow, and that's already sold out in Colorado. So I don't know. They usually will announce that, but I'll put it at about 350 dogs tonight.
So 350 dogs tonight. How many people we got?
Guess.
It's like 3,500, so 10 to 1?
Hopefully maybe a few more than that tonight. But listen, I don't know about you. You know, for us, we have a bull mastiff at home. She does not like being home alone. So while she probably wouldn't love all the noise, she'd still rather be here. Like, she'd rather be sitting in the booth with me and maybe being a little bit uncomfortable than actually being home by herself.
Hey, companionship's important, CJ.
Yeah. Ooh, what is that one, Gretchen? We've had this conversation before at our house.
I'm helpless. I really am.
St. Bernard. I was wondering if it's something called like a St. Charles something. That I get peppered a lot. My wife wants to start saving beagles, rescue beagles. I get it. That's most of what our texts are these days, is pictures of other dogs that she would like to go adopt.
All right, we're going to step aside before we get too far down any more dog holes, rabbit holes, whatever you want to call them. We've got a delay here, and those are Crocs. All right, Braves baseball. We'll be back soon, but Crocs are back today.
$13.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Looking for a media career with a digital-first edge? At Gray, engaging content. Hiring.com to apply today.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Power. Score big savings at georgiapower.com/tips. By Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. And by Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Welcome back to Miami. Looks like Mike Estabrook is ready to take over behind the plate, and that's because of what happened about 15 minutes ago. Mauricio Dubon at the plate, and home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez. He got the worst of this foul tip, CJ.
Yeah, it caught him square, but then he felt something in his jaw, and you thought maybe, okay, would it just go away? Would it be in passing? But it was not the case. Now, I'm not sure if they also were concerned about a potential concussion, right? That always comes up in these situations, but he is not back and not even out there. So we're down to now a three-man crew.
So we've got Mike Estabrook back behind home plate. We've got Jonathan Parra and Lance Barrett out there on the bases. So three-man crew, CJ. For guys who have been in the big leagues for a long time, how big of an adjustment do you think that is? Obviously, in the minors, they're working through that constantly.
Yeah, they understand it. There's going to be a little bit more movement. There was a time maybe where you could try to take advantage of it sometimes as a player, like realizing not all eyes are going to be on everything, but probably not going to be the case. Not these days with instant replay and cameras everywhere. Let's just hope that Alfonso Marquez is all right. Clearly, we saw him walking away on his own, so that's encouraging, but always scary.
So about ready to begin things here. This is going to wind up being about a 15-minute delay. How does this affect Max Meyer?
So he went down in the tunnel. I'm sure he probably threw in a cage down there a little bit. They gave him as much as he needed. It's not ideal, right? Because he looked like he was starting to get locked in. He retired 4 in a row and just struck out Michael Harris and was having a good at-bat here against Mauricio Dubon, right, as he had him down in the count 0-2.
All right, so back ready to go. 0-2.
There's a lot of things I've learned this half inning, and one of them is don't even guess at dog breeds because you're going to get corrected.
I told you, I'm
media.
helpless. I abstained.
It was a
I said I want no
dog,
part of that.
by the way, on a St. Bernard. So me and Gretch are in the doghouse right now. See what I did there?
I do. And I bet it won't take long for me to join you. Mark of the Park night here at Lone Depot Park. And Meyer ready with the 2-2 to Dubon. And he shoots one on the ground through the right side for a base hit. So Mauricio Dubon. He's got the first hit tonight for the Braves.
It's the right approach. We mentioned again, you're going to see a lot of spin from Max Meyer. You get into his 2-strike count, it's going to be a sweeper. It's not a bad one. You see where it's down, but you try to pull this ball, and it's probably a weaker ground ball to the right side. But Mauricio Dubon up there with a game plan to try to stay inside and shoot that ball the other way. Strong like bull.
And now Max Meyer's chance for a little bit of revenge here against Dom Smith. Dom had that go-ahead bases clearing double against the Marlins, and that come from behind win. That took away a win for Max Meyer. How about those numbers for Dom Smith, CJ? I mean, look, the Grand Slam was a great moment in the first week of the season, but he hasn't stopped.
He has not. He's been a great contributor to this lineup. It'll be interesting to watch this at bat so far. And again, a lot of breaking balls backdoor to lefties early on. He got a 2-seam fastball inside that was called a strike. It was a 4-seamer, but it moved like a 2-seamer. Came back and caught the inside corner, right? And so a lot of times if you're a guy that's trying to open up the outside, you want to keep hitters honest. And that's what he did with the first one. And I think it might have caught Dom by surprise. And then still thinking about spin, and he got a changeup instead.
What will he get? 0-2.
Breaking ball down would be my guess. Now, based on the way that Joe Mack was set up right there, the catcher, it could have been fake knowing that they were throwing over. But I think you always take a shot if you got really good spin, slider, sweeper, to bury a back foot one to a left-handed hitter. They're going away.
And Smith spoils it. Fastball away. Maybe that sets up that back foot breaking ball.
It does. I mean, here's the thing, too, right? Even though he threw you that first 4-seam fastball that was in, talk about tendencies of a pitcher. You're willing to give him that, and you're probably even willing to give him that late. You might try to fight it off, but I still think you got to protect the outer half.
Missed big that time. Max Meyer gets some good swing and miss, some good chase, but when he gives up contact, it tends to be loud. One-two to Dom. Braves been fouling off pitches left and right.
And that matters too, right? He does have good swing and miss. We mentioned it with Drake. 10-pitch at bat to start the game with a walk. And looking at 41 pitches already here through an inning and 2/3.
Dom bounces one over the head of Connor Norby, but foul.
Now, for what it's worth, you know, we've of course seen the Braves all season where both the starting pitching and the bullpen, they have been excellent. A little bit different here in Miami. Their starting pitchers come in with a 4.85 ERA, 26th in baseball. The bullpen, however, has been good. 6th best ERA, 3.31. There's some decent swing and miss, especially at the back end of the Marlins bullpen.
One-two. Braves continue to fight Meyer tooth and nail here. Of course, you look over the course of the season for Max Meyer. We mentioned he had that start against Atlanta where he got a no decision, 5 innings and 3 runs. A couple of weeks ago, he went 7 innings of one-hit baseball against the Phillies. So when he is on, he can be electric. And Smith, did he offer? No.
So it's funny, everybody looked down to third base. There's no umpire down there. It's college style now because you're down to a 3-man crew, and that's a good call. Now, of course, they're upset because of the Otto Lopez called strike, but it's your second base umpire technically that is making that call. Hey, Tommy, what'd you think? No, he didn't go. And ask Tommy Watkins, he'll let you know.
9th pitch of the at-bat, 45th of the night. And challenge coming here from Joe Mack.
Catcher challenging the pitch.
This will be close.
Got it.
The pitch is a strike.
That's the second strikeout now for Max Meyer. Both of them have been overturned by ABS. Scoreless, going to the bottom of the second. And Drake Baldwin back behind the plate, working with J.R. Ritchie. CJ JR threw just 12 pitches in that first inning. And it has now officially been 30 full minutes since he last threw a pitch in this game.
So if you told him before the game, hey, heads up, you're going to get a 30-minute breather between pitches. It's going to be between the first and second inning. He might be thinking, great, what are we up, like 7-0? No, it's still no score here. And we're all hoping that Alfonso Marquez is going to be okay. And that is the reason after he took the foul tip off the mask that we had a delay and a change in the umpiring crew.
So Mike Estabrook now behind the plate calling balls and strikes. And it is 1-0 on the rookie Owen Casey. Casey was the return when the Marlins traded Edward Cabrera to the Cubs. And he was the Cubs' #1 prospect. That was back in January when that trade took place. And 3-0. And for Casey, there's some tantalizing power there, CJ, but there's a lot of swing and miss right now.
Yeah, there is, and you know that kind of going in. There's some chase that comes along with it as well, but part of that is getting ahead.
23 years old from Burlington, Ontario. 45th overall pick in the 2020 draft. And Richie works it back full.
Three-one slider. A lot of times that means you go ahead and throw it again 3-2. Let's see. Or that curveball.
Swing and a miss. Got him with the curveball in the zone, and Casey strikes out again. Striking out in more than 40% of his plate appearances so far this year.
It's a really nice job by J.R. Ritchie after that long layoff, falling behind 3-0. And he went slider, curveball, 3-1, 3-2. And we know his curveball for me is his best breaking pitch. It's a good one. It's sharp. He commands it extremely well.
And now Jacob Marcy. Marcy's coming off his best weekend of the year, maybe the best weekend of his life. He went 8 for 11, the double, a triple, and a homer against the Rays up in Tampa. And he's a player who got a lot of people excited at the end of last season, CJ.
So watching him last year when we saw him, and I probably said it at the time, this guy's going to be a problem going forward because of the style in which he hits. You know, usually should mean that he's in it for the long haul. And so it was very surprising to see the year that he has gotten off to. Now, you mentioned he's coming off a nice little run here lately, but it had been a very, very slow start for Marcy.
Richie's 1-2. Bounced out to Kim, knocks it down. Bare hand recovery. Not in time to get Marcy. And Matt Olson giving a look back towards the Braves dugout. Walt Weiss is going to look to Tony Mansolino and see if they want to challenge.
Got two things working here. One, did he beat it, or did Matt Olson potentially come off the bag with the higher throw? They're going to challenge it. It was hit hard, and it kind of got on Kim a little bit quickly, and he's even pointing back, and I think there was somewhat of a high hop. We'll take a peek here. Did that happen? I think so, yes, as it caught him in the heel of the glove. And it was a good recovery. It's just a matter if that throw was a little bit high. Did he take Matt Olson off the bag? It doesn't look like it. Now the other part of that is, did the throw beat him?
Yeah, I think he held the bag. Let's look at the timing now.
I think, ooh.
That is close. I'm going to need a freeze frame because my eyes don't move that fast.
You ask while you receive here on Braves Vision. I think he's out.
I think so too.
If the throw is a little bit lower, and I get it, Kim had to hurry and get it there as quick as he possibly could, he's definitely out just because it was high, bought him a little bit more time. I'm with you in real time. A little bit harder to call. This is the one I think that hopefully, did it get to the back of the glove? I think he's out.
I'm with you, but always the caveat if that is pretty close and you never know what that standard is going to be. That makes it conclusive. Would you call that in the back of the cylinder right there, or do you got to wait until it closes?
I think right there, and then you still see the foot move afterwards.
This is extremely close.
It's hard to see whether or not there's space there when it gets to the back of the glove, but you see the foot go down even more so afterwards. But I get it. If you have to see it and you want to see some daylight, you may not be able to see it from that.
After a review, the following on the field stands. The runner is safe. Atlanta loses their challenge.
All right, so he is safe now. The second question is base hit or error? I think error.
I think it's going to be an error. It might even be a fielding error too, CJ.
Yeah, it would be a fielding error, right?
Yeah.
Because he still caught the ball.
Second error for Ha-Seong Kim since he's come back. Now Connor Norby. Norby, another piece that the Marlins got through the trade market, part of that Trevor Rogers deal when they sent Rogers to the Orioles a couple of trade deadlines ago. And he bounces one up the middle and through into left center. Marcy's going to cut the bag at second. And the Marlins are going to have runners in the corners here with one out.
Hard ground ball here, and not a bad pitch at all. Maybe looking for a little bit more depth on that. But it got through the infield quick and nearly caught the second base umpire. And this is a really smart decision in left field not to try to throw that ball to third base. Again, these guys run the bases extremely well. So if Dubon comes up thinking he's got a shot at Marcy at third, then all of a sudden you're going to see Norby standing at second. Got no double play, and then you'll also have you'll have a second runner in scoring position.
Yeah, that's up to Joe Mack. Rookie catcher debuted 2 weeks ago. Takes the first pitch strikes. That's the first hit for Miami tonight.
I think they gave Marcy a hit on that.
Oh, did they?
Now they got two on the board.
Okay. Kind of surprised by that.
Same.
As I was saying, that's the Marlins' second hit of the night, CJ.
Nailed it.
You know what? That might have been a little too quick on the in-stadium scoreboard.
Oh, you think so? Well, I'm looking at the. Oh yeah, maybe, because the MLB research tool still only has one hit, and that's why we scored digitally. Because I've already erased it twice.
Richie in a spot for a strikeout here on Mack. Goes to the curveball. The book on Mack, great defensive catcher. He can handle a heater, but he's got some holes when it comes to the breaking ball. Let's see if Richie goes back to that curve.
Also keep an eye on Norby. He does have 5 stolen bases.
J.R. Richie thinking the same thing.
5 for 7 so far this year. Again, you're trying to stay out of the double play. You're also trying to guess along to some degree on what pitch might be coming. And the breaking ball is a good one to steal on. And as you mentioned, Mack has had his issues with it.
Laid off it there. J.R. Richie, a scoreless first inning, just 12 pitches. Then he had a 30-minute break between the first and second inning. And Mack scorches one. It leaks through Olsen. Ozzy's charging. The glove flip is in time. But Marcy will come in to score, and the Marlins lead 1-0.
That's another one. We'll see what happened here. Hit pretty firm. Matt Olson coming off the bag. It got on him quickly, in and out of the glove, and luckily it made its way toward Ozzy so that there was time to recover and still get the out. Good heads-up play by Matt Olson to get back to the bag and not chase that ball as it trickled away from him.
Still waiting on the ruling on that Marcy ball in play, so to be determined if that run's going to be earned or not.
I mean, where are we hung up here? I mean, had all that time during the instant replay to think about it. It's time. Make a decision.
Now, Javier Sanoja, part of that Venezuelan World Baseball Classic Championship team. He was the one who scored the game-winning run as a pinch runner in the top of the 9th against the U.S. Look out towards Norby at second. 2-1. Bouncer to third. Riley gives ground. Long throw. Couple of hops. And Ole with the stretch. But the Marlins draw first blood. 1-0 Fish after 2.
July 22nd.
A Monday night at the ballpark? How could that get better? Well, how about getting on TV? Man's rocking some jorts, too. Those fans, he is styled out. All right, Max Meyer back to work here in the top of the third. And fires the first pitch strike to Ha-Seong Kim. Kim, of course, making his return on the last homestand. His season debut. Backs him off. We were talking about Max Meyer and the injuries he has suffered, CJ. Look over the course of his career since he was drafted out of the University of Minnesota in 2020. Feels like it's been one thing after another. Is Joe Max going to challenge another one?
In the pitch. Pitch is a ball.
All right, so that knocks Miami down to 1 challenge.
So there was a Tommy John in there, right?
Yeah, so 2022 season begins. He's a top prospect, makes 2 starts at the major league level after making his debut, and then has to undergo Tommy John surgery, a revision. And then after that, losing all of 2023 because of rehab, comes back in 2024, pitches really well those first 3 starts. One of those was against the Braves, but knowing that he didn't throw any innings the season before, they sent him down despite pitching very well.
Remember that?
As Kim's down on strikes. When he came back the last couple of months, he did not pitch nearly as well, had an ERA over 5. And then last year got off to a little bit of a rocky start, and then had his season end around the midpoint with a tear, a labrum tear in his left hip. And then he came into camp this season and has been healthy thus far.
That's been a battle, and so here he is now at 27 years old. Assuming he gets through this year, he'll be a 3+ player, meaning there's still 3 more years of control, Max Meyer. But you start looking at the total number of starts made over that time, and doesn't quite add up to that total service time. But that's the life of, big league pitcher these days now more than ever, and obviously it's more than just the arm injury that he had to deal with, but they are a reality for everybody.
Quickly 0-2 on Yaz. And he skies one in the air left field. Stowers camped, and that's 2 down. Before the lineup card turns over, let's get a quick message from Chevrolet.
Get into a 2026 Chevy Trax, starting at $23,495. Proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
But CJ, I know Braves fans have been frustrated. Heck, the Braves themselves have been frustrated with some of the injuries that have befallen guys like Spencer Schwellenbach and Hurston Waldrop as Drake Baldwin just scorches one into center field. He's been on twice now.
So it's 10 pitches in his first at-bat, 1 in this one, and not waiting around as Drake Baldwin gets a hold of a sweeper. 103 back up the middle here for the Braves catcher. Such a thing of beauty from the side.
I got to think, if you're a pitcher combined with Drake's power and his ability to extend at bats, you would surrender a first pitch single, no problem.
And his play coverage is the other part of it, and it's not just in the strike zone. His ability to cover a few inches off and down become a problem.
By the way, we have gotten a ruling. They're going to give Jacob Marcy a base hit on that ground ball. So that is an earned run against Richie. And Ozzie Albies hits one high in the air to left. Stowers charging in. He calls for it. And that'll end the top of the third.
helpful hardware, folks.
The first of a 4-game series here in Miami. Marlins a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the third. Let's take a look at our Truist leaderboard. So this is the 16th series of the season, CJ. I think we can already give the Atlanta Braves the National League pennant here in 2026.
Just call it a season. Somebody hit fast forward and let's get going already. Now that Ronald's back.
J.R. Ritchie fires ball 1 to Xavier Edwards, but, I mean, that jumps off the page. Now, of course, it's important to remember that in that era there were no championship series, division series, wild cards. So if you had the best record in the league, you were going to the World Series.
Yeah, some of those teams were going straight to the World Series during that time. But also, I can't remember, I didn't see the years off the top of my head, but there was also a time when that was the best of 9. Right back in the day with the World Series.
So it's funny, 1912, I was looking at this one. It was actually a best of 7, but they played 8.
Because? Tie?
Game 2 ended in a tie due to darkness, and they didn't have modern day resumption rules.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't suspend it. It was just, all right, it's a tie.
Shut piece, huh? Wow, that's brutal.
It was 6-6.
All that work for nothing.
Exactly. That was the Giants falling to the Red Sox in 8. Xavier Edwards smashes a liner into center, but Harris is there. But forgetting about the postseason format, CJ, what you can take from that is all 4 of those teams had the best record in the National League that year.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be, and there's a lot of season left to go. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this lead and the fact that they continue to win these series has been incredibly impressive. It puts you in the pole position going forward, and it gives you a cushion for when very likely that inevitable time comes where there are some struggles.
So Liam Hicks, who was hit by a cutter in his first at bat. And we've seen the Phillies, they've climbed back above 500.
15-4 since Don Mattingly has taken over. Their pitching has gotten right.
And that's a sword there from Hicks.
It's always a good sign. That's a 2-0 count. Now he's geared up for a fastball and tried to get it started a little bit early, but to get even a check swing on the cutter that was that far in, it's a testament to the pitch.
Three-man umpiring crew with Alfonso Marquez going down for taking the foul tip off the mask. And Hicks bounces this one softly. Ozzie, another glove flip. 2 down. For JR, you think this is giving him a chance to get a little bit of a rhythm here after that long delay between the first and the second?
I think so. I mean, after, I still don't know if it was a hit or an error, but the Marlins.
They did score to hit.
They did? All right, so that changes that run to earn.
Correct.
Too, take that for what it's worth. But either way, since then, and then you had the Norby hit, but he's now retired 4 in a row, and sure, he'll take some normal length breaks in between innings to help catch a rhythm.
Now looking for his first 1-2-3 inning, and he'll try and do it against Major League Baseball's hits leader, Otto Lopez. He's got 63 knocks.
So I started bringing this up in his last at-bat. When you sit here and look at what he's done against righties this year by pitch, I think it's the reason that we have seen the curveball more than the slider. There goes curveball there. Why? So this season, it's not a lot of data, but it's worth looking at. Lopez is hitting .379 against the right-handed slider and only .111 against the right-handed curveball, right? So when you're in a hitter's meeting, you will have these conversations, or a pitcher's meeting, you're going over the lineup, and you'll say something like curveball over slider. And it's all because of the data behind it, based on the swing and what they know, who hits the harder breaking ball better, who struggles on the slower breaking ball. That's been kind of the case because he's crushed both fastballs, he's crushed sweepers, cutters. It's really been the curveball.
And Lopez sends a high chopper foul. Well, if I'm J.R. Ritchie and I hear this guy struggles with right-handed curveballs, I love that because that's my strength.
Exactly. And so that part works out well. But when you start, again, kind of going through your repertoire, what's going to work here? Absolutely, the curveball. Now you can't sit there and just throw 7-8 curveballs in a row necessarily. Doesn't mean you can't use your fastball. You just got to pick your spots and where you can go in the zone. How does it also then set up another potential curveball?
For a moment there, I thought Lopez was challenging the pitch. He tapped his helmet. I said, okay, do what you want.
Great.
Richie's 2-2.
He tried to, I don't know if he was intentionally trying to throw that back door, but he definitely overthrew that changeup. He's spinning the breaking ball really well tonight. He had one, so he's been sitting around 2,500 this year. He's thrown one tonight at 2,900.
3-2 in the air, right center. Harris saunters over, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for J.R. Ritchie.
Chevy models.
Nice aphrodisian ridgeback right there. We are in the top of the 4th inning. The Marlins leading at 1-0. Time now for our Toyota Trends feature of the game. We're going to give you a little bit of data here and taking a look at the Marlins pitching, and it seems like perhaps this is the new philosophy here in Miami. Just under 40% fastball usage. Well, that is the lowest in Major League Baseball. Bad news for them, as we showed you that batting average for the Atlanta Braves and what they have done against non-fastballs. 239. While that's a low number, that is second best in the National League. I lied about that dog. I hope you know I made that up.
You are.
It's more fun to do it that way. Get people riled up. I'm just going to say all fake breeds intentionally wrong the rest of the night.
I'm going to let that be a solo endeavor
Thank you.
for you,
Yeah.
CJ.
You don't want that heat, Wiley.
No, I do not.
Dog moms, they go hard. Hard in the paint.
Am I supposed to make a Waka Flocka reference now, or?
You're good if you feel like it.
No, I think we're good. 2-1 here on Matt Olson. Flew out to center in his first at bat. Matt Olson playing in his 830th consecutive game. Now in sole possession of 9th place on the all-time list. And he bounces one right back to Meyer. And Meyer gets Olson to begin the 4th. Here's a look at the list. Next up, CJ, Stan the Man.
That's incredible to think that if Matt Olson can continue this trend, he will get there this year and be in 8th place all by himself. Then you're going to start to see a little bit of separation. We'll have to push it back to 2027, but we continue to be amazed at Matt Olson and the Iron Man that he has been by today's standards especially. It's been him, Ozzie, and Drake who have started all games, all 47 games this year for the Atlanta Braves.
And he would tie Stan Musial on August 1st. The Braves at home that day.
Wiley, are we home tomorrow? Day at a time, buddy. August
the Braves
1st.
are at home, yeah. Out to Sanoha. Gets his counterpart Riley. Yeah, Braves got the Nationals in town. That's a Saturday, so get your tickets now if you want to see history.
It'll be a fun one.
Hopefully.
A couple days before the deadline, there'll be a lot of rumblings going on. Late deadline this year, August 3rd. Is that Major League Baseball trade deadline.
Isn't there a rule that the deadline has to be before school starts?
Which really school should not be starting that early, but it does, of course, in Atlanta.
Michael Harris drives one pretty well deep to left. Stowers onto the track, but he's got it measured and secured. 1-2-3. Max Myers sets down the Braves in the 4th. All right, Braves fans, the Braves are celebrating all sports this season with a crossover jersey giveaway series. And just in time for the World Cup to come to Atlanta this summer, the next jersey giveaway, Braves soccer jersey on June 17th. That's presented by SeatGeek. And we got these jerseys up in the booth with us. And look, I'm going to just call an audible here, CJ.
Yeah, go for it.
I think I can already hear people typing on
Yes.
X that this is actually a soccer kit.
Oh, yeah.
It is not a jersey. But
when in America.
When in America,
so
precisely.
These are really nice. We didn't put them on. Jenna, who is our stage manager here, is a sweetheart of a woman. She says, I got you an XL, but I don't think it's going to fit you. And I was like, that's kind of I know she didn't mean it as an insult, but it certainly came across
It runs
that way.
small, CJ.
Yeah.
It
that what she
runs
was getting
small.
at?
Yeah, I think you put it in the dryer. It shrunk a little bit. That's all that was.
It's not going to fit, but it's an XL. So that was awesome.
Or,
so I went and drowned my sorrows at the ice cream machine today.
So you're a crier, not a fighter.
That's right.
Okay.
But there's soft serve involved, yes.
Kyle Stowers ropes one into right field. Leadoff single, third hit of the night for Miami. How about the soft serve? Did you tell we were coming down?
I did not, but that was a big deal here in Miami. The machine, much like your McDonald's ice cream machine, had been broken for a while. When they got it up and running, it made it the rounds on social media, and everybody celebrated. But the thing they do here, all right, so they have the clear cups and they're small, and they ask you to only use those where if you've been around a broadcast booth for a while and the broadcast level, you should grab like a coffee cup and fill it up. They have a sign specifically there that says, please only use the clear cups for ice cream.
See, that to me is like leaving a bowl of candy out on Halloween and saying, please take one.
That's exactly right.
No shot. That's disrespectful to the trick-or-treater.
I'm a rule follower. Wiley, I can't speak for you, but so I did use the clear cup.
Well, that's why you have integrity.
Yeah. It's also why that extra large soccer kit jersey doesn't fit me.
Well, that's why you made the big leagues and why I didn't. If I had integrity, CJ, no stopping me. 2-0 and Owen Casey. And he's fooled badly that time. Cutter coming in. What did you think of the move for Miami to trade Edward Cabrera and bring in the Cubs' #1 prospect, Owen Casey?
I think it made sense, right? Because of where they are, they're not necessarily expecting to contend just yet, and they need to get bats. I was okay with him leaving the division because he's a pretty good pitcher. Aggressive for the Cubs, certainly, but same kind of situation. You look at the needs and what you have the ability to acquire. And I like the idea, if you can, the other way around, kind of like the Cubs, where if you can develop your own pitching and acquire bats, but you've got to kind of take a look at your system and see where you are and what you're capable of.
J.R. Ritchie carves him up again. Third strikeout for J.R. All have been on the curveball, and 2 of them against Owen Casey.
Yeah, really well located here. You get to that 2-strike count. You know there's some swing and miss in that bat, and that is a curveball that looks like a strike. Again, he is spinning it really well tonight, seeing a little bit more on those RPMs and the spin rate this evening. It's been tight and late.
And now Jacob Marcy. And I get a piece from it did. So a dead ball, but another hit by pitch. And now the Marlins have 2 on, 1 out.
And both of these hit by pitches have come on the cutter, right? We saw the one to Hicks, second batter of the game. This is a cutter that just really takes off on J.R. Ritchie.
Well, we know we've seen a couple of hit by pitches, but CJ, not a single walk yet for J.R. Ritchie.
It's good news, right? We talked about it. The walks, when you look at his last few starts, more walks than strikeouts for him after that really good first one that he had against the Washington Nationals. Now you look at the 13 position players that are on the roster here for the Miami Marlins, and only 2 of them were original acquisitions. Everybody else has come via trade, Rule 5, waivers. But they've developed pitching here. They've done a pretty good job on the pitching side over the years.
Now looking for a timely hit. The Braves have been suffocating on the mound when in these situations recently. Since the start of that Cubs series, opposing hitters are 3 for 44 with runners in scoring position.
Wow. That's impressive to see. Now, Norby had a base hit last time, ground ball that got through. You got 1 out here. You are behind in the count, though, but kind of the goal again, keep it on the ground, see if you can get 2 outs on 1 pitch.
Ritchie challenged her with the sinker there. Norby put on the brakes. Two-1 from Ritchie. And he's fallen behind 3-1.
You are going to get hammered. Let's hope he doesn't walk this guy.
It was a matter of time. We saw him fall behind 3-0 earlier today and rally.
And in similar fashion, right? Remember the 3-1 count on what we saw with the slider, and then he went 3-2 curveball. And that was the strikeout, I think, to Owen Casey, right?
Correct.
In the second inning. Again, it's a really good sign for a young pitcher to have the confidence to do that. And not a get-me-over, not a little like flip-over breaking ball. With runners in scoring position, that is always a dangerous proposition. Good hitters are not going to let you get away with a little kind of wrinkle breaking pitch when they're ahead in the count. If there's somebody out there they can drive in, it's got to be a good one.
Just low. And that'll load the bases.
He tried that same sequence where he went 3-1 slider and then 3-1 curveball. This curveball just missed down, but it was a good one. It's needed up about 6 more inches.
And here comes pitching coach Jeremy Hefner. So bases loaded, 1 out. It's happened quickly, just 16 pitches. Joe Mack coming up, the rookie left-handed hitter. What do you think Jeremy Hefner's telling J.R. Ritchie right now?
It's a slow down time right now. You saw him fall behind, so it's a regather conversation first. And then it potentially is strategy. You know, Joe Mack, you mentioned kind of the holes in the swing, where they are. It's a quick reminder. They may also have a game plan again of where they think they can get some weak contact early, which is the goal here. You're not trying to strike a guy out in a 0-0 count. You wait till you get to his 2-strike count before you have that thought. So it's that reminder of where you're going now for weak contact and where the holes are.
First pitch to Mack. Jumps on it and foul. Stowers at third, Marcy with great speed at second, and Norby at first. We've mentioned how JR has pitched around some trouble so far this year. This is just the second time this season, though, he's had the bases loaded. And Mack, hot shot. Ozzie can't glove it. Karams into right field. Stowers scores. Here comes Marcy. It's a 2-run single for Joe Mack. And the Marlins are up 3-0.
We've seen such great defense and pretty unbelievable plays from the Braves all season long. This was nearly another one. It was hit hard against the curveball. 98, you got a artificial surface, so it's going to get there quick. Actually, just a one-hopper there anyway on the dirt to Ozzie. He would have taken a tremendous play, which he's made a lot of those this year, but unfortunately could not get that one cleanly. Because if he does, the inning is probably over.
And for Joe Mack, it's the 13th game he's played in. First pitch swing and a pop-up. Back out of play and into the seats. But Mack has driven in more runs tonight, CJ, than he did in his first dozen games in the big leagues.
And kind of amazing that he's got all 3 of them here so far this evening. Again, you go through a lineup, you identify guys you don't want to beat you, and not a knock on this young man, but he wasn't the one that you were as concerned about.
Braves looking to turn 2 up the middle. Riley's about even with the bag at third. Javier Sanoja. In the 9 spot for Miami. And J.R. Ritchie splinters the bat there with that slider.
Wow, you talk about getting it off the very end of the bat. You don't see that too often, where it splits like that. That might be worth keeping because it probably has his name on the end and could be a fun arts and crafts project for somebody. Wow.
Yeah, don't see that very often. So new piece of lumber for Sanoja. He fights that one off.
So it'll get authenticated.
You got any bats at home?
What a question, Wiley.
1-2. Foul tip, and Baldwin hangs on to it. Huge strikeout for J.R. Ritchie with the runner at third and 1 out. And that's 2 away here in the fourth.
And again, it's on the curveball, and a good one here from J.R. Ritchie. Really well located. Good job by Drake to hold on to that foul tip, and they get a big second out. I always collected ones from teammates that I really like, guys that I respected, not necessarily always the biggest names. I'm sure I told you this one before. My favorite one is I have a Deion Sanders bat that I broke getting my first big league hit with. He was a teammate of mine in Cincinnati. I wasn't a good hitter. He said, try one of these. I did, and then I broke it, but I got a hit on it.
And Edwards asked for time after 1 pitch, 0-1.
And it was fun getting ones from Japanese and Korean teammates, right, where the names are written in Japanese and Korean, different kinds of styles that were really cool. And they have their flag on the kind of to get the label that has to go on the bat to get that official stamp on it.
Oh, 2 on Edwards.
So the thing with Edwards, as we know, is it going to be a real challenge to strike this guy out, right? So for J.R. Ritchie, you certainly take a shot at it, but doesn't mean you overbury that curveball with a runner on third base. This is a guy right now who's got more walks than strikeouts.
Little palate cleanser there for Edwards. See where Ritchie goes after the high fastball.
Might like the changeup over the breaking ball here. We'll see. He's got 3 different options, though, on the breaking ball.
Dances a little low with the changeup. 2-2.
You think about those breaking balls coming in if you're going to go inside the zone for a guy who handles the bat so well, good contact hitter. It's hard to get that pitch past him.
2-2. Ground ball hit sharply on 1 hop to Kim. He's got no play. And Norby's in to score. Infield RBI single for Xavier Edwards. 4-0 Marlins.
Well, they stuck with the changeup. It was a good pitch. It was weak contact. But as Kim goes to his left, the only play is going to be at second. And that's because, of course, Edwards just runs so extremely well. But Ozzie could not get there in time.
So Liam Hicks, who's second in Major League Baseball with 40 RBI this year. Chance to drive in another. J.R. Ritchie approaching 30 pitches this inning.
There you go. 29 of them so far here. This has turned into a big inning. No action yet, though, in that Braves bullpen.
And for Miami, this is the way they've been forced to score. Not a lot of slug. 4 runs on 5 singles so far tonight. One to Hicks. And he clobbers one to right field coming on. Yastrzemski slides, can't make the play. And that'll roll towards the right center field wall, and it will clear the bases. Mack and Edwards both score. And it is now 6-0 Marlins.
You can see the frustration on the face of Mike Yastrzemski because it looked like he had a beat on this, even though he had to slide for it. It looked like he had gotten there, almost maybe like that ball knuckled a little bit and was moving more than he anticipated as he started coming back when he was there, though. And the glove was on it and unfortunately could not catch it cleanly. And once it skips away, it's going to be an easy 2 runs for the Marlins. For JR right now in his brief career, this is far and away the most pitches that he has thrown in any single inning. Coming into today, 25 that he had thrown back on May 4th against the Mariners had been the longest inning. So as you go through this and the emotion that comes along with pitching in the big leagues and trying to get control of those emotions, execute a pitch to be able to get out of this inning as Aaron Bummer now takes some warm-up tosses.
And now Otto Lopez The 9th man to bat in the inning. We've talked at times this year, Siege, about how great the Braves have been defensively this year. And Yaz has been a big part of that, but couldn't make the play out there in right.
They seem to have made all the big plays, right? Again, that Ozzie play, not fair to ask him to make that play. It just would have been a great play. And then what happened on the ground ball to Kim, the spot that it was hit, Ozzie was a little bit late. Not sure they would have got him at second base anyway. But nothing really anybody could do. And then same thing with Yaz as he was sliding. It's one that he would tell you he probably should make. It still would have been a plus play. Just it hasn't happened in this inning for the Braves.
I mean, you think back over the last 10 days, you had Eli White making that amazing catch in right field. The bases loaded. Jose Azocar making a big play. Again, the Braves, part of the reason they have pitched so well has been because their defense has played lights out. Again, that was a tough play. To third and foul. First extra base hit of the night for Miami. That 2-run double from Lee and Hicks. Who came in today trailing Andy Pajes for the RBI lead by just 1. So that puts Hicks at 42 driven in this year. 1-2 served on one hop. What a play by Olsen. He flips to Ritchie. They got him. Lopez barking over towards his dugout, thinking they might want to challenge it. Braves are headed off the field.
He is standing there with confidence they are not going to challenge.
But the Marlins do score 5 in the 4th. 6-0 Marlins.
Here's one of those big plays that we're talking about, and it's Matt Olson once again. Good toss here to J.R. Ritchie to finally get this inning to end.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Truist. Monday night in Miami. And a backdoor first pitch strike on the sinker from Max Meyer begins the 5th. Well, we're going to need one of those comeback wins tonight, CJ.
We certainly are, and the Braves have been good about it, right? Biggest comeback win they've had so far, I believe, was from 6 runs down.
Slow roller out to short. Lopez gets Dubon.
The other thing that they have done really well, there's been a lot of good things so far this year for the Braves, is staying away from the big inning. That one was one that they could not close and ultimately allowed 5 runs. It's tied for the most runs that they've allowed in a single inning this year. Third time I should say that they've done it where they've given up 5 in an inning. Oh, you like that? 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Wiley.
Tom Smith fouls that one off. I heard everything he said until the Wiley part. I wasn't the subject of a lot of those.
Oh, it's over now.
Okay.
Because now the pitch count doesn't line up the way it did. 22, 44, 66.
2, 4, 6, 8. Dom Smith.
It's got a rhyme, and you know nobody rhymes better than you. Clearly, as we learned today.
0-2 here on Dom Smith. We did learn that today, didn't we?
Yeah.
If you have interest in being disappointed, you can go to CJ's Twitter account.
It's a great sentence, just all by itself, even without the context. If you have interest in being disappointed, check out @CJ Nikowski on X.
0-2 on Dom Smith. So Max Meyer out of the University of Minnesota, Golden Gopher. 3rd overall pick out of U of Minnesota. You got any guess is the only other Golden Gopher to be taken that high in the draft?
3rd or higher?
Yeah, Smith's down on strikes.
Do we have to go back pretty far or no?
I would say yes, considering the draft was in 65.
Okay.
So I would say he's closer to 65 than present day.
3rd overall position player?
Position player Hall of Famer.
Yeah. It is on the tip of my tongue. Dave Winfield?
Final answer?
Yeah.
No.
There's 2 outs. That's my final answer.
The answer.
Dave Winfield went to like San Diego State, didn't he?
I'm looking up Dave. He's from St. Paul.
Okay. No, he went to
Minnesota, correct, yeah.
Oh, and he was 4th overall, so I missed it by 1. Give me a break,
Correct.
Wiley.
That's pretty good.
Come on.
That's pretty good. I'll be honest, I didn't look up Dave Winfield for that number. The answer is Paul Molitor.
All right.
But that's pretty good.
On.
4th overall.
Oh, sorry. It's
Hall
got to
of
be
Fame.
3rd or higher. Your 4th or higher Hall of Famer doesn't qualify for my obscure question.
That's a pretty good pull on your part. I'm impressed.
We got drafted in multiple sports, right? The
Yep.
great Dave Winfield.
I had a Paul Molitor story. We're turning this into Dave Winfield hour.
Go ahead.
No. I know. I think Dave. Yeah. Yeah. Paul Molitor, 3rd overall back in '77. And he was managing the Twins when Max Meyer was rooting for them when Max was in high school. 2-2 on Ha-Seong Kim.
I got to face Paul Molitor at the very beginning of my career. One of the greats, obviously, as a Hall of Famer. But thinking about how a couple of hitters in this lineup hit, how Luis Ariz kind of hits, right? Short to the ball, a lot of contact, uses the entire field. My rookie year, he hit a line drive. We'll call it 8 inches above my knee on my inner thigh. I was not wearing a protective cup. I started wearing a protective cup next game. Knocked me out of the game.
And now Luke Nikowski's going to go pitch in college.
That's right. Lucky for him, it missed.
3-2 on Ha-Seong Kim. And Kim asked for time. Myers got his pitch count in a much better spot than it was early, thanks to an 11-pitch 3rd and 8-pitch 4th. And he's at 10 pitches right now here in the 5th. Look at Aaron Bummer still warming. And Kim coaxes a walk.
Also look like Robert Suarez and Dylan Lee were having a discussion on what a rally cap is supposed to look like. And maybe some confusion on how you get that done in the Braves bullpen.
Dylan Lee, not only one of the top relievers in that pen, but also one of the glue guys. He is always connecting, talking, telling jokes.
Spent a lot of time together down there in the bullpen when you are a reliever. You start adding up kind of the hours and the time spent over 162 games. It's basically a minimum of 2 hours a game outside of getting into a game really early.
Hope you like each other.
You got to like each other.
Yeah, as chases one down and in. Also, I've made it my personal goal to get Robert Suarez laughing on camera by the end of the season.
It's tough to do, or does he have a great laugh?
He has a great laugh.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it's tough to do. Well, he laughs a lot. Get him on camera could be tricky.
Yeah, it's something I've noticed too a lot of times in spring training, the interviews, the opportunity where you get guys where they can be a little bit more laid back, and then when things get serious, sometimes the personality changes when you put that camera in front of them, and you do a nice job of that though, trying to get the best out of those guys so you can see that personal side, but sometimes they're pros.
And Yaz is down on strikes. Max Meyer twirling a gem so far tonight. Don't miss a moment this season with Braves.tv. Stream the entire season within the Braves territory for just $79.99. Watch games at home or on the go and stay connected all year long. You can visit Braves.tv for details and start streaming today. Little Simba cam for the Doggos. And now Aaron Bummer on in relief of J.R. Ritchie. Takes over here in the bottom of the 5th, 19th appearance for the lefty.
Yeah, Bummer in here right now, hopefully for some length, keeping this game where it is, trying to give the Braves an opportunity to come back. It's been a little bit of a slower go here, but it's still only the bottom of the 5th inning, so some work to be done.
Aaron last pitch Thursday night against the Cubs. Inning and a third scoreless.
That is a thick dog right there.
That's 3 meals a day and a late night snack.
Yeah. Short and stocky. That guy wants to be in a bed right now under a blanket for sure. Give Mom some credit. That's not an easy lift.
That's not. You can say that dog is built for comfort, not for speed.
Yeah, for sure.
3-1 on Stowers. And a leadoff walk.
All right, so is that a golden doodle, Tate, there?
I don't know why. You got to ask the audience, because I got nothing. That's a blind spot of mine. I'm not good with dog breeds. Somebody should text that number, though.
Oh, he's got his own phone number, Tate?
I feel. Hope that person's got a sense of humor for putting that number on TV.
That's the chance you take, right?
Oh, and Casey slashes one into center. Michael Harris runs it down. So you mentioned the Braves' best record in baseball, 32-15. They've got an 8-game lead in the division entering play tonight. Can I get kind of your take on where the Marlins fit into the National League East the next few years?
So the next few years, obviously, a lot can change between now and then. I think this is still development stage, player acquisition, which we have seen. They have another big trade potentially in Sandy Alcantara at some point here, whether it's this year or this offseason. There's one more year of control. I believe it's a $21 million option that they have for next season. That is probably their last remaining big piece that can then yield them some good prospects in return. And so that likely means another year moving forward with this younger group. And at some point, you'd like to think that they'll pour some resources into the roster. Again, they're 30th right now in payroll. If you start to move in a certain direction, then the expectation is that you will add. So they're not competing and legitimately competing. By the end of next year into 2028, then I think it's, a run that would be considered a failure. But they'll try to do it on the cheap for now, and they'll have to hit those right moves over the next year plus. Pete Fairbanks, I think, will also be a guy. Won't get you that huge return that Sandy Alcantara will get you, but you hit on the right piece, you make something happen.
Fairbanks just reinstated from the injured list. First game back, blew another save. Now the Marlins went on to win that game against Minnesota. Bummer with the 3-1. Lost him. Jeremy Hefner's coming out of the Braves dugout. And as Hef comes out, got Connor Norby coming up. Thought you'd appreciate this Connor Norby story here, CJ. So he went to East Carolina out of high school and hardly played as a freshman. And so he called up his high school coach back at East Forsyth High School in Kernersville, North Carolina, and said, "Coach, I'm not playing." And coach asked him, "Well, what's happening in practice? How's that going?" Connor says, "Well, I'm getting yelled at every day." And he says, "Well, you need to stop that first.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a chance to play a little more." And that got him right.
So he was getting yelled at, he said, every day?
Yeah. The coach said, "That's not good."
Yeah. Wasn't sitting well?
Yeah. He said, "You probably got to clean that up in practice first."
Yeah. Did he say why he was getting yelled at? Just messing things up?
Well, just some practice habits or whatnot. But he's asking, "Why am I not playing more?" Well, you got to do the right things in practice.
It's a good test for guys, quite honestly, in the college culture, because you're going to get pushed a little bit harder compared to, and not to say it doesn't happen in high school, but it's happening at a higher level, especially when you're young. And I've had this conversation with Paul Burr before in talking about matching kids up with the right kind of college coach. Right, not every college coach is a yeller, but there are certainly, I think, a decent amount. There's a lot of pressure now to win at college and everything else, and you're out on your own for the first time, and you're trying to push young men, and so sometimes it can get a little bit aggressive, and some people are built for it and can handle it. Others maybe don't necessarily take to it as well. So it is kind of important to get a real good feel when you have the opportunity, you're chopping around for an opportunity to play in college, that you got the right match from a college coach.
And Bummer just has lost the zone here. That's 8 straight, and he has walked the bases loaded here in the 5th. And Joe Mack has been the problem tonight. He's driven in half of Miami's runs. And he'll bat here with the bases loaded.
you have any yeller coaches at any point?
I don't think I got to a point in my career where anybody felt like they could yell at me because I was struggling already, and they knew it wasn't an effort issue.
There's a lot of empathy.
Yeah, there was got a lot of pats on the back.
Nice. Have you ever thought about broadcasting?
You joke about it. I do remember one post-game meeting, or post-season meeting, I should say. We had a little team dinner. This is middle school. It's playing lacrosse, and every player's coming up, and player one, oh, your left hand got a lot stronger this year. You're on your way to making the varsity team. Next guy comes up, oh, your footwork is vastly improved. I kid you not, true story. All the parents are at this thing too, by the way. My name gets called up. I get my participation trophy or whatnot. I said, Wiley, you work so hard, and man, that's going to pay off in life.
Not in lacrosse.
Not in lacrosse.
This isn't going anywhere. However, keep up that great work ethic.
Mama Ballard was more upset about it than I was, to be honest with you.
But she should be proud, right?
She is.
Recognizing the work ethic at the end of the day with your children, that's what you want. Good character, good work ethic. Not everybody's going to be a professional athlete.
Or a high school lacrosse player.
Yeah.
3-1 here on Joe Mack. And again, Bummer already 3 walks in the inning. When you're out there like this, how difficult is it emotionally to fight yourself?
So in these games, what you have to be careful of, and Bummer in the past has been a high leverage guy, obviously going through some stuff right now and working through it, it is all about the mental part of this and what you're thinking about. And it can take on a life of its own, which it feels like it has here this inning, where you just don't know what's going on, can't recover, can't find the zone. It's about the most frustrating place that you could be as a pitcher.
The Braves bullpen is in good shape after the starts they got from Bryce Elder going 8 innings on Saturday, Grant Holmes going 6 on Sunday. But with the score where it is, you don't want to have to deploy too many resources tonight as Aaron Dummer finds the strike zone there on Sonoha.
I would agree. And again, not a great spot to be in, but Aaron Bummer is going to stay out there for a little while because you just went through it. Go back to that game when Bryce Elder was pitching and he was excellent. He probably comes out of that game a little earlier, not in the 8th, even though he was dealing, and not facing a potential go-ahead run if the bullpen was at full strength. But he was pitching really well. Bullpen was light, so you take that chance. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He still pitched great that game. But you don't want to be in that spot again, right? This game, unfortunately, getting away from the Atlanta Braves will take some work to try to get back into it. But you don't want to burn pitching in the process.
Sonoha rocks one down the left field line, hooking, and that is a fair ball and a grand slam for Javier Sonoha. And the Marlins have put up double digits, 11-0.
Well, that is the first in the career of Javier Sonoha. Not surprising, because it's only his 7th home run of his career. First one this season.
It can be a frustrating game sometimes. You know, Aaron Bummer's feeling that right now. Javier Sonoha, as you said, first home run of the season. And this ball is cranked high and deep to left center, and that will sail out of here. Back-to-back home runs for the Marlins. Xavier Edwards with his 5th.
Two-seam fastball here, 90 miles an hour, but not a lot of run to it as it sat inner third. And the Marlins right now coming out and taking some pretty big swings here against Aaron Bummer after the walks.
Well, CJ, I've got good news and bad news.
You got good news?
The bad news is the Braves are down 12-0. The good news is Brandon Gaudin's going to be back on Friday.
Well, it's a long time between now and then. We got to get you 3 wins. Not that we're ready to completely punt this game, but it's going to be tough to come back from it.
Hard hit pass to diving Matt Olson. Yeah, the hits keep on coming.
Good effort here from Matt Olson to try to get this one. Curveball that stays front door. Hit hard though, 103 off the bat. And right out of the reach there of Matt Olson.
So after a 5-run 4th inning, Marlins have put up 6 here in the 5th. And Otto Lopez, the 9th man to hit. And for Bummer at this point, CJ, it's just about he's kind of wear it, right?
You do. You wear it, and you're trying to figure out a way to get out of this thing. A lot of thoughts that come through your mind. Again, not a fun thing to go through. And what you want to be careful of in these spots, too, is that you've seen some big swings, right? Sanoa, not a home run guy. Same with Edwards. You just saw a really big swing there from Lopez as well. And guys getting comfortable and taking some of these bigger hacks is something that's your job to stop.
Bouncer to Ozzie, to Kim for 1, and too speedy out of Lopez. Kim doesn't even make a throw. That is the 2nd out. Otto Lopez, Major League Baseball's hits leader, is 0 for 4 tonight, CJ.
Yeah, kind of amazing, right? If we were to tell you that at this point that there was 9 hits and 12 runs across the board, that Lopez would have been in the middle of all of it. That hasn't been the case.
And so now Kyle Stowers. He led off this inning against Bummer with a walk. And he takes ball 1. Well, you mentioned the last inning, CJ, the 3rd time this year the Braves have given up 5 runs in an inning. They had not allowed more than 5 runs in an inning all season until this 6-run 5th.
How about batting around in back-to-back innings? I'm curious when the last time we've seen that. To the lab we go.
Trying to see if I should bet on Mitch Smith for this one or CJ Nitkowski.
Oh, Mitch has already started. Let's see.
Been a long time since the Braves gave up this many runs. That was against the Mariners last year. Went on to play in the American League Championship Series. So 3 balls and a strike here on Kyle Stowers. And he draws a walk. That is the 5th of the inning for Aaron Bummer and the 2nd to Stowers. And now Didier Fuentes is up and moving around.
It's interesting here that Fuentes is up right now, and the way this game has gone, right, you got at least 3 more innings that you're going to have to pitch here. And there is a decent chance, depending on what the Braves do in the top of the 6th inning, that you may start seeing position players pitch again, just based on what we saw. And you have 3 more games here and then 3 more against the Nationals before you get to your next off day. And so you're going to have that run of 6, and that is what Walt and Jeremy Hefner, Doug Manzolino there have been, Tony Manzolino have been talking about. Doug Manzolino's Tony's father, who I had as a third base coach all the way back in 1999 and 2000 with the Detroit Tigers, I guess 2000, 2001.
When you look at the bullpen, I mean, it is rested. All your high leverage guys had resets. Right now, you're not in a high leverage situation.
You're not. I tell you what, though, when I was having this conversation today on 680 The Fan, is that for me, Fuentes has become that guy. Like, he has become such an unbelievable weapon and what he can do for this bullpen in the multi-inning role.
But you know, Ronaldo Lopez didn't get a pitch. He ate up 2 innings yesterday. Martin Perez is scheduled to start tomorrow.
It is a 7-man bullpen right now. That's part of it.
And Aaron Bummer ends the 5th with a strikeout of Owen Casey. But the Marlins put up 6, and they're up by 12. Drake Baldwin, our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life player, impact player. You take a look at his numbers against the Marlins. He has reached in every game he has played against them. He's terrorized the fish.
A new Marlin killer that we have here with the Atlanta Braves, and there have been quite a few over the years that have done damage against this organization. What is important now, you're down 12, right? This is feeling like a near impossible comeback kind of game, so you don't give at-bats away.
Didn't give that one away, but he hit it right at Owen Casey.
You know, the mental game we talk about in the biggest moments, the highest pressure moments, and how you react accordingly, but it actually can be easier to lose your focus in these kind of situations.
Meanwhile, Max Meyer has been locked in thus far. As he misses high to Ozzie. Myers so far 5 1/3, couple hits, couple walks, 5 strikeouts. He's begun his 3rd time through the order. I mentioned Meyer was drafted in the 2020 draft, of course, during the throes of COVID. He was drafted by the Padres, went down to San Diego with his family for about 2 weeks, got a for a couple days, as Ozzie lifts this one foul. Got a tour of the Padres facility, signed the contract. Then when he went back to Canada, he had to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Said it was worth it. And of course, in the offseason, there wasn't a lot of baseball activity going on, particularly in Ontario. So he played 2 months of pond hockey.
That's a good way to stay in shape, as you well know.
Beg your pardon, not from Ontario, but Minnesota, but same point. He did.
It's like the same place.
Correct. He was asked about what kind of hockey player he was. Looks like he thought he might have had Ozzie punched out. All he said was, I led my team in penalty minutes my senior year of high school.
That tells the story.
It sure does. And Ozzie's down on strikes. Well, he has looked like a top 5 pick tonight, CJ.
Well, healthy now, and I think with a game plan that has been solidified here by the Marlins, and that's the ability to use the breaking ball at any time. Using the fastball less, even though he can throw it 95, 96 miles an hour.
Max Myers now retired 9 of the last 10.
And he's in a little bit of a different position. While your pitching coach, your manager will tell you, treat this game like it's 1-0. You can still use some of those same habits that you had early on, first couple times around the order. And using that breaking ball backdoor, I mentioned that might be something that you can't get away with second or third time to the left-handed hitters, but you can take more chances now when you have this big lead.
I apologize, get my wires crossed. He was drafted by the Marlins. That Padres story is a different angle, but the pond hockey story is true.
I believe you.
2-1 is Olsen. Flares one down the left field line. And he'll take a single. It's the first hit for Atlanta since Drake Baldwin there in the 3rd inning.
And again, backdoor breaking ball, and a good job by Matt Olson not to get big, not to have kind of a, I don't say a selfish at bat, but just trying to do damage when you're down big. The approach needs to stay the same. It does with that opposite field base hit. All right, so the last time the Atlanta Braves allowed an opponent to send 9 batters to the plate in an inning in back-to-back innings, which just happened here tonight, was May 29, 2019, when the Washington Nationals did it in the first 2 innings of the game. So it's been 7 years since we have seen an opponent send 9 batters to the plate in back-to-back innings. Are you a 10th guy has to come up to be considered batting around?
Yes.
You are, huh?
I am, but not.
I didn't ask Gretchen, but she
passionately.
yelled yes in my ear. So she's now involved in this conversation as well, and clearly convicted about it.
Well, I just feel like if you're, working around the clock, you're not working from midnight to 11 p.m. It's got to be midnight to midnight. You got to get back to where you started.
But it's only one revolution, right? It's 12. It's 12 hours. You checked each.
But you got to
once.
you got to get back to the top.
It's a good question. It's debatable. I've always felt like if you send 9, then you bat around, everybody comes to the plate. I think that's the genius of it, is that all 9 hitters got a plate appearance in a single inning.
Austin Riley, fly ball into center, playable for Marcy. I got one more thing to say about that. I'll tell you about it in a moment.
Welcome into the Rooms to Go Lounge. I'm Lauren Saad. That's Peter Moylan. Peter, tough night for the Braves, but it's Bark at the Park. We've seen a lot of cool dogs.
A lot of cool dogs. My favorite would obviously be the Newfoundland. I'll take 6 of them. Anybody wants to ship them to me.
We'll get you guys back to Braves baseball.
Bottom of the 6th, Marlins in control, and Didier Fuentes has come on to the mound here for the Braves, trying to give Atlanta a little bit of length. They couldn't get it from Aaron Bummer.
Yeah, probably one of the more laid-back, relaxed outings in games that he has entered so far here for the Braves, and he really has turned into a high-leverage impact arm in the bullpen and in the rotation, and it'll be very interesting to see how this entire year plays out for Didier Fuentes. Really nice strikeout rate at 29%. One thing we were talking about with basically a 6-man rotation, it's not exactly a 6-man, but using 6 guys in different ways in this matrix that the Braves have done such an amazing job with, and how they've worked it, puts you sometimes in a little bit of a precarious spot when you have a 7-man bullpen, and it's all fine when things go smoothly. When they don't, which is kind of where we are here tonight, is when it can be disrupted, and not sure if this will be enough to have any changes made necessarily, but it's always the risk that you run. You ride it out as long as you can, and again, it's worked out really well. But now what they do next here, and whether or not a move needs to be made or an adjustment in having an 8-man bullpen, especially with 6 games to go, we'll see.
Still
before your next off day.
Yep. Still got 9 more rounds to get here. Fuentes, of course, has the length to do that.
I wonder.
But do you want to burn that much?
I don't think so. My guess is maybe 1. And perhaps we'll see Zokar, Sandy Leon. Is Sandy catcher right now, by the way? I believe he is.
Yes, Sandy Leon
So
has come in to catch.
Which kind of made some sense. So you got Sandy now behind the plate. Get Drake out of here in this game. So I guess he's not pitching.
Not yet.
Can't pitch.
Well,
to
Kyle
yourself.
Farmer's on the injured list.
Yeah, so you lost your emergency catcher. I got a Zokar for at least an inning tonight. I know Ronald would love to do it. It's not going to happen.
Connor Norby's been a problem so far tonight. He's reached 3 straight plate appearances. Didier Fuentes, by the way, last pitched on Friday, went an inning, and had 3 scoreless on Tuesday. And the pizza glove is back.
Nice. But the other one was blue, wasn't it? I think it was a different color, the original pizza glove. I could 100% be wrong.
You're saying the whole glove is blue?
Or just a different color. Was it the plain?
It was definitely that color.
That's the only pizza glove?
To my knowledge.
Okay.
There might be multiple slices elsewhere. But
I believe you.
Yeah, asked Didier about that. He kind of just said, I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, it is. He likes pizza. Who doesn't?
Cracked in the air right. And that's out of play. Let's take a look at Didier Fuentes making his debut at this ballpark. That is our Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce back on June 20th of last year. He had just turned 20 years old. There's Dad. We got a foul ball that night, by the way.
Yeah, that whole situation was crazy. And for him, as young as he was, to sit there and make his big league debut like that, a lot going on, a lot of emotion. But you saw the upside, and you got excited about what could be. And he is still 20 years old, but kind of a completely different guy, right? With now a few games under his belt and some confidence, and understands how well his stuff plays.
And he gets Connor Norby down on 100. You can have the discussion too. I mean, obviously, I think the Braves still like him as a starter, but he has been so valuable to this bullpen this year in this role, CJ. It's, when you're having so much success at the big league level as a team, it's hard to want to change anything up.
Yeah, I think he stays in this role for a bulk of the season unless there is a need in the rotation. I know we still got a little bit of ways to go here, but there are some good arms that are on the IL that we anticipate will be big league ready before the season is over, like A.J. Smith-Shawver, Spencer Schwellenbach, Hurston Waldrip. And if those guys can eventually come in and take some spots in the rotation, that allows you to keep Didier Fuentes in this higher leverage role in the bullpen. And there's probably a number, I would guess, too, that the Braves would like to see him get to this year of total innings, whatever, you know, that may be. 80, 100, I don't know. That could be a jumping off point for him next year if he's back into the rotation.
Keep in mind, Fuentes, across both the minors and the majors last year, he threw just 70 innings. After he was sent down after those 4 major league starts, his season was cut short.
So 70 total. Yeah, probably 85, 90 if you can get there. Again, he's in a different role where it's not just a 20-year-old kid who's going to turn 21 this year that you can kind of manipulate his innings in the minor leagues as you're working the development. This is about competitive innings at the big league level, so it's not maybe as easy to get to the exact number you'd like to get to.
Full count here on Joe Mack. Yeah, it was a right shoulder inflammation. Didier made just 4 starts after being sent back to AAA, and then didn't pitch the final 2 months of the year.
But 90 probably would be a nice number if you can find a way combined to get him to 90 innings this season. So that came in with what, 33 1/3 combined. He had exactly 16 2/3. And Gwinnett this year 16 2/3 coming into this one. Yeah, you can get there or close to it.
And Mack whacks it back.
Nice.
All right, CJ, how many Joe Macks have been in Major League Baseball?
Ooh, that's a good
time?
question. Since you said how many, it's at least 2, and I'm going to guess 3.
2?
Dang it. Should have taken the easy route.
Yeah, the first Joe Mack was a Brave, though. He was considered one of the replacement players during World War II, so played for the Boston Braves.
1 year, 1945, hit 231, 3 homers.
And Joe Mack just foul. That was close.
Because it is in the outfield, they can ask potentially for a review, and they are. And so now it'll be up to the umpires, assuming that they saw this pretty clearly as a fair ball. Let's take a peek. Yep, you see some chalk bounce up. I'm surprised that this wasn't called, actually, because you're going to see it what feels like pretty clearly.
Challenging the call of foul ball.
Was that white chalk, or was that?
You know what? It's a good point. It always could be what's in the turf, too, and maybe that's what the reaction was. Now it becomes, assuming, again, if this does get overturned, It is the umpire's discretion on where they put the runners. That's because it's paint, right? It's not chalk down the line. I don't think it is.
That's my understanding. All right, let's see what we got here.
Oh, it looks like it catches maybe the outer part of the line. It's tough to say for sure from there.
Yep.
But why not a little bit more of a delay here tonight in Wiley's first game in 2026? 30 minutes, and hopefully Alfonso Marquez is doing okay after he took the foul ball off the mask in the second inning. We've had a couple of reviews now and a lot of runs.
Are we taking calls?
We can. I don't remember the number.
I think that was Tate's number, wasn't it? The dog out there?
1-800-BRAVES-VISION.
Yeah, Miami, they put up 5 runs in the 4th, 6 in the 5th, and they have run away with this one.
After review, the call on the field stands. It is a foul ball. Miami will lose their challenge.
All right, there you go. Don't be fooled by the dirt that pops up from the artificial surface.
Jacob Marcy, Matt Olson having a conversation over there at first. Meanwhile, this is even the 9th pitch of the at-bat between Fuentes and Mack. And he beats him to the spot that time, 97. And Mack's down on strikes.
Good life on the fastball, right? Not just the velocity that you get here from Didier Fuentes. And we noticed it in spring training. And that was the confidence and the conviction of which he was using all of his pitches, but especially that fastball inside the strike zone.
Didier three-finger Fuentes.
That's right.
And Javier Sanoja has got the biggest swing of the night, a grand slam. First home run of the season. Just an inning to go. Fuentes with that fastball slider combination. Swing and a high pop, shallow left center. Kim calls for it. And that ends the 6th. Fuentes works around a leadoff walk. Marlins going to the pen. As it gets. It's not been the Braves' night so far. With Michael Harris leading off, let's find out who's been working on a win. Brought to you by Home Depot. And he has been frying the fish since he showed up.
Nice, Wiley, little fish fry for Michael Harris, and why not? Big numbers for him in those 44 games here. Second in Braves history behind our good buddy Matt Diaz. Minimum 150 plate appearances.
And you know what? Michael's even got that little lean back with his upper torso like Matt Diaz used to.
He was a good hitter.
John King has come in, so that's the good news for the Braves. Number 23 for Miami's done for the night. 6 scoreless for Meyer.
So you get a really heavy two-seam fastball, and you see it right there at 90 miles an hour. A lot of ground balls for John King. It's kind of always been his game. Ground ball rate down a little bit for him so far this year. He has given up a couple home runs in 19 2/3 innings, but you can see the low batting average against both lefties and righties. 109 combined.
And Michael Harris is down quickly. So 1 away for John King, who was signed by the Marlins as a free agent after the Cardinals non-tendered him. And now Mauricio Dubon has come in. A few defensive changes as well for Miami. Leo Jimenez has come into play second base. You've got Javier Sanoja has moved over to short from third. And then Christopher Morel is playing first. So it's a whole new infield for Miami. And a one-hopper. Spin and a fire, and the tag's going to be applied by Christopher Morel. So 2 quick outs here for John King. So Dom Smith will climb in here. Two away here in the top of the 7th inning. And by the way, Lauren and Peter, they've got the 7th inning stretch brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. They'll be talking about the return of Ronald Acuna Jr., who is active tonight.
So good opportunity here for Dom Smith, right? Does not get a lot of at-bats against lefties in the way things are played, even though this is turning into a garbage game. You know, having a couple of quality at-bats in these kind of spots, left on left for Dom, could serve him well. I mean, he's been great. Not a lot is going to change, but it's nice to get these once in a while.
And Mauricio Dubon talked about, you know, he had a chance to face a righty last homestand. You don't often get those same-handed pitching matchups, but Dom Smith can roll this one softly out to Norby. Fires across to Morel. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 7th, and we'll send you back to Atlanta for the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome into the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. I'm Lauren Saad, joined here by Peter Moylan. And Pete, we had some big and great news before tonight's game that Ronald Acuna Jr. was officially activated off the IL. And before tonight's game, manager Walt Weiss spoke a little bit about his status. Take a listen.
You know, Walt, you mentioned Ronald didn't want to have him active on this turf. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, the turf's a little bit tougher on soft tissue, you know, hamstrings, quads, groins, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, it's a factor. It's not the factor, but it's part of the equation when you're talking about activating somebody. But he's doing well. He ran around today, and you know he's certainly getting close. I would probably list him more like day to day at this point.
Well, Pete, we didn't get a chance to see him tonight, but do you think we will this series?
I think we will see him definitely this series. You can see him moving really, really well today, running around the bases. That would be the biggest concern for me. Will we see him play right field? I'm not sure, but will he DH or maybe get a pinch hit at some point when it matters? I think that could definitely be on the cards.
Well, I'm definitely excited to hold you to it. You think we'll see him tomorrow?
I hope we see him tomorrow. I think maybe that leadoff spot as a DH. I'm not a prediction guy, but that would be fun to see.
I like making you make the predictions because you're just so good at it.
Come on, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll get you guys back to Braves baseball after a quick message from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
So Miami firmly in control. A couple more changes for the Braves. Tyler Kinley has come on to replace Aaron Bummer. For Tyler, appearance number 23. That leads the team.
And a good opportunity to get some work in, right? We know that Tyler Kinley in his last game, same thing, a little bit of a lower leverage situation. And the only thing that stuck out is a couple of pitches to lefties that he hasn't been able to locate, that they've been able to get to. Now this is a little bit of a different feel because he is a high leverage guy. And you can see the overall numbers for Tyler Kinley. But again, you kind of find your ways to kind of work through it when you have these blowout games and make sure you're not losing focus. And if there is anything you want to work on, now is the time to do it.
We begin by facing Jimenez, who offers the first pitch and comes up empty.
How about those two defensive changes that we just saw? Zokar in center. Okay, that makes sense. But I believe this is the first time that Dom Smith has put a glove on this year. Right? He hasn't been in the field all season.
I don't think so. Of course, Dom began his career as an outfielder, played some first base in the past as well. And Matt Olson, after moving into 9th place all time on consecutive games played, gets the rest of the night off. beg your pardon, this is Estuary Ruiz at the plate. Speedster, who was, believe it or not, actually involved in the Matt Olson trade.
That's right. Good job, Wiley.
Part of that deal that put Ruiz back with the A's. Oh, darn it. Sean Murphy trade.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was close.
I jumped the gun telling you how well you did. So I just, trying to be positive. Thinking back to your lacrosse days. And so there's going to be no more negativity toward the work of Wiley Ballard.
Oh.
But I will be toward that guy. Clean it up.
Tough play.
It's the kind of mood we're in. We're not even going to be nice to the ball boys.
But it was a Sean Murphy deal that sent Ruiz from Milwaukee to Oakland. That was a 3-team deal. He ended up leading the American League in stolen bases in 2023. Popped up, left side. And Riley's got it. One down to the 7th. Here's a quick message from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadillas. Get them while you can. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Talked about it earlier. What did you make of Tyler Kinley talking about how he threw his curveball as a way to protect his slider early on in his career in catch play?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously brought his curveball in, but he'll also throw a few different fastballs, even though he's really relying upon just the one.
So I was fascinated by it. And the phrase that he used in spring training, I believe it was, is that the curveball was like a training tool for the slider.
Hicks drives this one deep in the air, right center. And Azokar is there.
Which I had never heard before, quite honestly. And it became where it was looking like such a good pitch as kind of this training tool that he started throwing in the game.
And now Christopher Morel. Morel, by the way, he was be a big piece for Miami this year. Was scratched hours before first pitch on opening day as the Marlins have a righty working, Calvin Fauché. But missed the first month with an oblique strain.
I'm kind of wondering here a little bit. We'll see what happens in the 8th inning for the Braves. And we haven't seen, and we really haven't been in too many of these games this year. Nothing that sticks out where an Atlanta Braves position player has pitched under Walt Weiss, right? It happened a couple of times last year. Luke Williams, Brujan did it. And there are some managers that hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wondering a little bit maybe if Walt is one of those guys that just hate the idea of it. Now there's some situations where maybe your just hand is forced and you have to do it. But perhaps for Walt, he prefer not to.
Yep.
I can respect it. Right? I think it's a little bit about the respect of the game and the people that are out there.
And Tyler Kinley freezes Christopher Morel. We go to the 8th. Marlins up big.
Jones.
Our Comcast Business Defensive Edge. That'll be tomorrow's probable starting pitchers. It'll be the Swiss Army knife. Martin Perez going for the Braves. Braxton Garrett making just his second appearance of the year.
Yeah, he had a rough one. First one did not go particularly well for him. Hopefully that'll be the case tomorrow. But the good news is Martin, he has just been excellent. And, of course, you can see both roles. 4 games out of the bullpen, 5 starts.
And the first pitch strike on Ha-Seong Kim from Calvin Fauché. Making his 19th appearance for the Marlins and a former anteater. Lifted down the right field line. And Casey makes the play.
All right, so I don't know what that means. Where are the Anteaters? What university is that? Or is that a high school mascot?
University of California, Irvine.
Oh, that's not a great mascot, huh?
Hey,
Not scaring anybody with that.
They got a pretty good hashtag. They did the hashtag Eaters Going to Eat.
Okay.
But all right, not your first choice. I get it.
A couple dogs still hanging in there. I just heard a random bark. They got to be worn out. They've been here for pushing 3 hours. That's a long time for a puppy. That one's ready for bed.
Just because you're ready for bed, CJ, doesn't mean that the dogs are. Well, you went to the espresso machine, what, the 4th inning, right?
I did, and it took a little while. Also grabbed a little bit of that ice cream, but yes, I've been really good too. I haven't had just Dragon today for whatever reason, and tried to stay away from the canned energy drinks whenever I can. But it got me today. I just felt like I needed one today, and I'll never do it again because the Braves are losing 12-0.
I think that guy might be my player of the game right there.
Holding his dog with the Dog the Bounty Hunter shirt.
Yeah, yes. Can't beat that. Sleeveless as well.
It's his cuddle buddy.
That right there, that is satisfaction.
Yeah.
Personified. You know what's funny is I don't actually know what Dog the Bounty Hunter is famous for. I just know.
Oh, you don't?
No.
He's basically was shoot like a
bounty hunter.
Yeah, but I know but he's basically tracking down dudes that
need to be tracked down.
That didn't that jumped on their bail jumpers, right? Yeah, there's like a warrant out or whatever, and there's a bond that has to be paid that hasn't been, and he wasn't afraid.
Says he's a former bail bondsman.
Dude is done.
He's out.
Take me home.
That's going to be CJ about 10 minutes after
Nope.
his first pitch
Maybe.
for this
That would
last
be on
pitch.
the bus.
You can sleep on the bus. Yeah, his draws a walk.
No. You guys talking about me? Somebody said, hey, perk up. You're on camera.
Sandy Leon.
Leadoff hitter. How about it in the
Yeah,
one spot?
baby.
How many plate appearances do you think Sandy Leon has had in his career as a one-hole hitter?
I think it might be time for him to drop down a bunt base hit.
Do not do that down 12-0.
It's a bad look.
Yeah. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
I'm going to say, what, he's played, this is year 15, 14?
Yeah. 15.
15? I'm going to say he's done it 6 times.
Here's your first hint. He is a career .500 hitter when he is batting in the #1 spot in the order.
So it's not 0.
It's not 0.
I'm going to say he's 2 for 4.
That one hit, 1 for 2, was a 2-run homer. How about it?
Mike Yastrzemski aboard at first. Is that Ronald with a bat? He's geared up.
He's got the put me in coach mentality right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You think that's a little sales job there trying to get an AD?
Sandy hit a home run in 2019, batting in the leadoff spot. Didn't start the game there in a 19-3 game where the Boston Red Sox had beaten the New York Yankees. He hit his home run against Austin Romine, non-pitcher.
Well, somebody didn't tell Mike Estabrook because he just punched him out. But off of Austin Romine, so catcher on catcher crime right there.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting tomorrow to see Martin Perez. Last couple of appearances have come out of the bullpen. This will be his first start since the Braves were in Seattle on May 6th.
It should be a good matchup for Martin, right? Thinking about the way he mixes his pitches, how well he holds runners. We talked about that today, and this is the team that has the most stolen bases in baseball. It becomes a big part of their game. We didn't see it nearly as much tonight, obviously, with the game getting out of hand the way that it did. And I do think that's what we've seen with the Braves, right? When it comes to that other spot in the rotation, it's not a straight 6-man. It is trying to find those right matchups when you can, right? And people are asking, how come Martin's not throwing against the Cubs? Because they're really good against lefties. Now you get him here against the Marlins and probably a matchup that makes some more sense.
Ooh, look out, Ronald. Giving Ozzie a little bit of grief. Bouncing the ball right to where he was standing at the end of the dugout. I think Doobie can be a guy, a little bit of a pot stirrer down there between
for
those
sure.
two.
I mean, it's got the look. High energy, lots of fun. Play some jokes here and there.
He does have. Just look at that look in his eye.
Yeah.
He's a schemer.
There's got to be some stories from his childhood for sure that with that look, it's been there forever. Some teachers for sure have some stories.
3-2, and Ozzie wands it into left. Yazzle head to third.
A little backdoor cutter here that is down for Ozzie and ended up staying kind of inner third. Again, not giving away at bats, not trying to do too much. What you're looking for at this point, quality at bats, maybe a little bit of momentum, something positive to end on to take into tomorrow.
Jorge Mateo is going to hit in the 3-hole here, which is now the pitcher spot. And there is no action in the Braves' pen, so that leads me to believe that it's either going to be Kinley or Mateo.
Well, Kinley's out of the game now, right?
It's a good point. They lost the DH, so it's going to be, looks like Jorge Mateo taking the mound, or somebody who's in the game.
You don't think it's going to be Ronald, huh?
I don't. I don't.
I do believe he probably asked, or at least hinted at it. And he's got to have, and I would never ever want to see him do this, he's got to have 96, 97 in the tank, right? I mean, if he can do it from the outfield, then he can get higher than that.
And Mateo's down on strikes. Well, we'll find out who's going to toe the rubber in the bottom of the 8th in just a moment. Game 1 of this 4-game series has not gone the Braves' way. Before we get to the bottom of the 8th, here's a quick message from our friends at Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
So Jorge Mateo makes his 2nd career pitching appearance, and he's got Leo Jimenez lifting one to center. And Azokar's got it.
A little bit of a better start to the last time. This is going to have a little bit of fun out there for Mateo. He pitched last season for the Baltimore Orioles, and you can see the numbers there. 5 earned runs in his 1 inning. He allowed 4 hits, 2 doubles. Nope, I read that wrong. 5 hits, a homer, and did not record a strikeout.
Well, and he wasn't even the pitcher that gave up the most runs in that game. Orioles lost 24-2.
Oh. Well, let's go. Open it up a little bit.
Ooh, Owen Casey. It's not challenge exactly.
Well, you can't have it. There's no challenge. The ABS system is off when a position player is pitching.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those common sense rules. I like that.
Oh, let's go. Reach back for a little bit. 82. Change up here. Get that first career strikeout.
And Casey socks one into center. Casey said he already had 3 strikeouts on the night, so no thank you. Mentioned that Seattle game a little earlier. That got out of hand for the Braves back in September, but you know, look, I know nobody wants to hear this, but a fly ball into center. Who's it going to be? Looks like Dubon. But CJ, I haven't had to see a position player pitch yet this year because the Braves have been in almost every game.
Yeah, they have. And even when they maybe have fallen behind a little bit, there's always that chance they're going to come back with the way the offense has been, the way the offense has been late, right? How good they've been late in games. So you rarely have seen a situation where you feel like it's a game that you're punting. Now, obviously, this one a little bit different.
Fly ball punched into left center. How about a 0 for Jorge Mateo? Atta boy, Georgie.
I think she should close her eyes.
No way! No stinking way!
What is it?
It's a jersey of Matt Olson.
What?
Ooh. Matt Olson.
Pull it out so Grandma can see it.
Pull it out. Oh. Thank you, Dad. This is my best present ever.
Yeah, too.
If that doesn't melt your heart, you're a robot. That's our Whataburger Wanna Play. And there they are. Those are the girls, Pine and Ember, in that video. They are here tonight. And that is pretty cool. And he had a chance to talk to Matt Olson about that video a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, I think it moved Matt pretty good too.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Listen, during the course of a regular big league season, a lot goes on, right? You're obviously completely locked in on what's happening on the field, performing accordingly, and every once in a while you kind of get a perspective moment from a young fan more often than not, and that certainly was one of those for Matt Olson.
Austin Riley shoots this one high up towards the roof. And that is Sanoha making the catch there from short. I think especially for Matt being a new father, or relatively new, obviously. Owen over a year old now, and there's Lake Bacher, who has come in to try and close this one out. He's got some of the same hair we saw in the stands with the Bark in the Park.
That's right. It is a great look for Bacher, and he's been pretty good. You know, kind of a good story as far as him getting to the big leagues, and he's been impactful at times. Obviously, a lower leverage situation right now, but good numbers for him. Good strikeout rate. 5th round pick out of the University of Wisconsin Whitewater, which has got to be Division III, right? 2 big leaguers have come out of the University of Wisconsin Whitewater. And the other one was Bob Wickman.
And it is Division III. The Warhawks. That's a good trivia question. Can you name the one Big Ten team without a baseball team?
I cannot. I probably couldn't even name every Big Ten team. That's how light I am in that category.
Well, don't think too hard about it. It's the same state you just mentioned.
Oh, Wisconsin? No, Wisconsin. They don't have a baseball team?
No baseball team.
Get out of here, really? Always like that? Or they got rid of it?
I'd have to go back and look at that.
Well, the other guy, too, when it comes to like really great Division III stories, Jordan Zimmerman, also University of Wisconsin, but Stevens Point. And think about the career that he had.
Yeah.
This guy made over $150 million coming out of Division III.
Zokar slaps one into right center. Casey's there, 2 down. Wisconsin Badger baseball discontinued in 1991.
Wow.
Made it to the College World Series back in 1950.
And then after 40 years of not getting it done, they said, all right, that's enough.
Mauricio Dubon. And the Braves will be back at it tomorrow, a 4:10 first pitch. Our coverage will begin at 3:30 on Braves Vision. Martin Perez getting the ball for the Braves, and Braxton Garrett, who's missed nearly 2 years with injury, will make his 2nd start of the year. J.R. Ritchie went 4 innings tonight. Dubon's beaten that time by the hitter. I feel like there was some progress when it came to throwing strikes up until that 4th inning kind of unraveled on him a little bit.
It did, and then unfortunately just things really got away from the Braves after that.
But one thing Walt Weiss has talked a lot about is he takes a lot of pride in the way this team has bounced back after losses. We kind of saw that yesterday. Lost a tight one to the Red Sox and then came out and put them away early.
So we showed you the numbers. I guess it was yesterday that we did that when the Braves, I believe, were 11-3 after a loss, something like that. And really good numbers. And so, unfortunately, get the opportunity to improve on that tomorrow. You don't want to have too many shots, but you're going to lose games, of course. It's a 162-game season. So bounce back time tomorrow.
And hopeful to see Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup tomorrow as well.
I mean, he's already dressed and ready to go, right? He put all his equipment on, just maybe hoping, kind of wondering, would there be an opportunity? I mean, they may have told him, hey, if a couple of guys get on, then we'll have you come to the plate.
2-2 lifted into right field. Casey's got it. And the Braves are shut out in game 1 of this 4-game series in Miami. The Marlins put up 5 runs in the 4th, 6 runs in the 5th, and that was all she wrote tonight.
Yeah, that was the big one. We talk about big innings, and the bottom of the 4th was a big inning. So was the bottom of the 5th inning as well. But it's one game. As bad as it felt, it's one loss. It's the Marlins. You got 3 more here. And like we said, you come back tomorrow, get yourself a win, get back on track.
Just the 3rd time this season the Braves have been shut out, and we'll be back from Miami in a moment to put a bow on it.